Welcome to Lorehammer, episode 32, Ordo Malleus and the Grey Knights.
Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. My name is Eric.
Hey, I'm Mark, and I'm a little disappointed in the quality of Slurpee that I'm drinking right now.
That's okay. What'd you get?
Just a flat Coke, I guess. I don't know.
Gross. If it ain't lime vanilla, it's not worth drinking. Remember that? That was like a summer 3 years ago. All we drank was lime vanilla.
Oh, I remember.
It was sick. And now every
Those
time,
are the golden years of my life.
Absolutely. Every time I go into a place to get a Slurpee, or if you're listening from another country, you can call it the demon word slush.
Slush puppy, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Slushy.
Yeah.
And I'll butt in. I'm Brant, and we're already getting off topic here. I'm Mark's older brother, and I'm here for the Lorehammer, not the Slurpees.
Okay. Which
But
is
you do have a
absolutely
Slurpee.
false because you got a Slurpee in front of you.
And it's also flat.
Yeah.
Gross.
Same machine, I think.
Well, you went to the same Slurpee place, so one
Together, yes.
right, of
Yes.
course. One can only assume. Anyways, so you did introduce yourself, Brant. Hello,
Hi.
and we totally missed Jordan.
Oh, hey, this is Jordan. How's it going, you filthy incels?
Oh,
Speaking to the clients, I guess.
yeah,
That's
no
it.
kidding. There's a type.
There's a type.
We're in it, Mark. It's us.
We should do some serious, Lorehammer or 40K in general demographics and just see what we come up with. Are we going to split it up between incels and fedoras?
And then the rest will just be neckbeards.
Yeah.
Doritos.
Yeah.
Doritos. That's an entire population.
We can make a Venn diagram of who fits in what and what the traits are between all of them. No, that sounds like work. But yes, Brant, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Obviously, long-time listener, first-time joiner, right? You've listened to all the episodes.
Yeah, what are we? Number 32?
Wow.
32, that's the one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Big fan. Big, huge fan.
What would you say was your
Huge.
huge? What would you say was your favorite episode?
Well, it's kind of a similar theme, you know. After that 3-hour mark when they all end, that's usually my favorite part.
Interesting.
Naturally. Well, welcome, I guess. Looking forward to having you share your thoughts on Warhammer. So
Really just shit on all of our
right,
ideas.
for sure. Because you don't play Warhammer. Neither do you care about the story.
I wouldn't say that I don't care. It's just that I don't have the time to care.
Yeah.
Okay. I can work with that.
yeah.
That sounds better than Warhammer is just a pile of shit. So.
But having said that, you've spent a lot of time watching us play throughout the years because we've all lived with you at some point in our lives,
Oh, of
except
course,
for Jordan.
of
But so you've always kind of been lurking in the background.
We've all been under the wing.
Yeah. But
Brant's-
normally, me and you are playing Warhammer and throwing dice, and then Brant's doing something manly like fixing a motorbike from the ground
Right,
up
exactly.
or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
he's like under a car,
Yeah.
oil, whatever, dirt, and some big comes sound over there, and he's like, "Oh, did you guys do something cool?" Nope, just dice.
Pass me that 3/4-inch socket wrench. Hand him a Warhammer model.
Yeah, is this what you're looking for?
I have a lot of real world experience, which none of it's going to apply to me here today.
Excellent. Let's get started on a couple of things.
You guys want to hear one more thing?
I
though,
do,
about
obviously.
Brant?
Yes.
Everyone has Brant to thank for my introduction into Warhammer.
What?
Yeah, because him and our old pastor or whatever, they went to a Games Workshop and then they were just looking or whatever, and they brought home a brochure, and then I seen it, I fucking grabbed it, I ran to the bathroom, beat one out, and
Yeah. As we are wont to do.
and that's the story. So if Brant didn't go there and didn't pick that up, I wouldn't be the man I am today.
What have you done?
I will deny that claim.
But it's all true.
Sick. Just sick.
You know what? It all starts to make sense. It was the Lord that brought you to Warhammer.
Yes, it was.
It was divine. Let's get right in. Let's talk about our Patreon for a heartbeat and a half. We actually have 2 new subscribers since we last had our episode. Micah and Brian.
Yeah.
It was odd. Micah was our last guest on.
Yeah.
And it was funny. We totally.
Oh, that Micah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he joked like, "Oh yeah, I just contributed to your Patreon." I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you did. Okay,
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
whatever. And then we get like the email after the episode, and it's like, oh no, for real, he actually joined. So, Micah, if you're listening, we love you, bud. And just because of that, like this is practically a prostitution ring. I think if you pay us enough money, we will have you on the podcast. I think that's how it works.
That's not quite prostitution, but
no, we are
It's
selling
pay for play. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much backwards what I figured was going to happen. I thought I was going to be making a few shekels today.
A shekel or two, hey?
I did buy you a Slurpee.
Yeah,
a flat
that's your-
Slurpee. So
Worth
Paid
it?
in full.
I should have used the expense it to the Lorehammer account. Fuck.
I'm glad your time is only worth $1.99 Canadian, which is like nothing right now. Anyways, thank you, Brian and Micah, for your contribution. Obviously, we only use it for the most important of things, such as Slurpees and
Candles for demon summon rituals.
right, exactly. Every once in a while, you got to buy a pig's knuckle.
Yeah.
My mind went real dark for a moment, and I am not going to share.
Virgin blood. You
Oh,
gotta
it was
sacrifice
much worse than that.
6-year-old virgin blood.
I'm not gonna. All right, let's. What was?
Yeah, Patreon. Check out our Patreon if you want to subscribe. Perfect.
Exactly.
If
Yes.
you want to go buy some stuff, some merchandise, go check out Redbubble. But
Yeah.
let's start the show.
Yeah, let's get on.
People have heard it.
Yes, exactly. Let's start with our cool guy quote of the day.
Fuck. We
This
should
one.
get Brant to read it.
Yeah, you know what, Brant? Would you like to read the quote for us?
It was probably what I said, so might as well read it.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So it's that one right there. Go ahead.
They shall be my hammer, the sword in my hand, the gauntlet about my fist, the bane of my foes and woes of treacherous. When no others may stand beside them, they shall fight. Only the greatest shall enter their ranks, for unto them do I entrust stewardship over the gates of hell. Brent Sikora.
And what was the context of you saying that?
Yes,
exactly?
yes.
Was that you in any relationship you've been in?
No, boss told me to do an oil change, and that's what I told them.
And then you put it on the new guy because he shall be your hammer.
Yes, sir.
Right, of course. But that is actually not attributed to anyone.
No.
But I could assume.
Some would say it's an entirely fictional quote
Right, but.
because it's a fictional universe.
Okay, shut up. No, but you're right. It is not ascribed to anyone, but understanding what we're about to talk about, I would say that is the Emperor himself.
Could be.
saying that.
Yeah, could very well be.
It's either going to be
Who
him.
else's hammer would be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who else has the ability to give ownership and like steward to someone else over galaxies? So it's either him
maybe
or
Malkador.
exactly. Yeah, it's either him or Malkador the Sigillite, and you will learn about why that is in the episode.
Yeah. So this is part 2 of our Inquisitor episode. So today we're going to be talking about the Ordo Malleus and the Grey Knights, and then
Excellent.
the next episode will be the Ordo Xenos and the Death Watch, and then the final part will be the Ordo Hereticus and the Sister of the Battle. So let's talk about the Ordo Malleus for a bit.
Let's just dive right into
So
Ordo Malleus.
I missed part 1. Is
Yes.
that going to be a problem here today?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're not gonna.
We'll do a quick recap then.
Yeah.
Okay, so bad people. Sometimes you need to kill those bad
Yes.
people. So you need to give people permission to kill bad people.
and to find out what if they are bad.
Hey, and even if they're not bad, you still need people to kill people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's
They created
last
they
episode.
created a task force like a secret police, let's say, and their job was to just go around and rile up people, perform witch hunts, pull people out of the houses they're in, and if they're guilty or if they're not, just shoot them.
Yeah.
So we don't have any real life examples of that kicking around, but
No.
They should have just done a cleanse sort of thing where one day a year you get to just do whatever you want.
what would you call such a day?
The cleanse.
the cleanse, a cleansing.
Cleanse day.
Right, of course, cleanse day. Everyone drinks like spinach juice and then goes and kills each other. So if you
And Brent
survive,
drinks a bunch of like cinnamon water.
right, exactly. If you survive, you're in very good shape, body and mind. Okay, let's talk about the purpose of the Ordo Malleus. And the purpose is to protect the Imperium and her citizens from the threat beyond. It will track, contain, eradicate, and hide knowledge of all threats of the immaterium from humanity.
Yeah, so any type of warp influence, most of humanity views it as bad. And the Emperor especially viewed it as bad.
Yep, he banned it. He said, no, no, no.
Well, yeah, and not only did he ban it, he just blatantly lied about lots of aspects of the warp.
Yeah, because it's just too dangerous of knowledge.
Yeah.
So instead of sharing it with the people he trusted, he said, we can't even let the common citizen know about it. So that is definitely a part of the Ordo Malleus, is to keep everything on the hush-hush.
So I got this, like, it wasn't a nasty email. It was a nasty email, but it was clearly joking. But he's like, Mark, I don't agree with your fucked up view of the Inquisition and how it's...
Well, because it was
and, like,
fucked up.
Yeah. He was joking, so it was enjoyable.
It was good.
But, like, doing more research, like, the common Imperial citizens, they don't know what Chaos Demons are.
That makes sense.
Like, and part of the reason is because of the Ordo Malleus. And, like, they'll mind wipe everyone. And you better believe that when they're mind wiping people about demons, they're also mind wiping them about the Ordo Malleus.
I also assume that they're not being very precise with this.
No,
right?
no,
Like,
yeah.
they're not going through with a scalpel and removing
Yeah.
memories. They're like, it's been like 6 days since you first found about it, so let's just wipe 6 days worth of a memory for you. Or you know what, to be safe, a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, they're not... Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like, yeah, these guys go around and they make sure that, like, demons and stuff are kept a secret because you don't want people praying to demons, I guess. Otherwise, you end up like Brant.
You're going to have a bad time. Right, Brant?
I only did it once.
And what happened to your life after that? Changed dramatically.
Broke your back?
I've had a few injuries along the way. Hard to say what they're attributed to.
Demons, just bad decisions. We don't really know. It's hard to say. Let's talk about the founding of the Ordo Malleus. It was created on Titan and Terra simultaneously
Yeah.
at around M30 during the Horus Heresy at the request of the Emperor.
So we talked a little bit about this in the last episode about like just the founding of the Inquisition. You know, Malcador, the Emperor spoke to Malcador and was like, "Oh yeah, go gather me men and women of great character."
Yeah.
And form this organization.
So Malcador went and found 4 humans, and they were responsible for creating the administration branch of the Inquisition. Like,
Yeah.
its actual framework and structure.
Yeah, and these would be probably the first actual true inquisitors himself.
Absolutely.
So read the names and then...
Yeah, we've got, and this is who we have named, is Kirill Sinderman, Lemuel Gilman, Amandera Kendall, and then we could not find the last name. So it's
Yeah.
kind of nice because it leaves it open for them to write stories that haven't
Yeah.
been written yet.
But just for kind of like what some of these humans were, Kirill Sinderman was a remembrancer in 30K. And basically it was just like a journalist, essentially.
Yeah.
He just crusaded, or he followed the Great Crusade and took
Specifically
notes.
Horus.
Yeah, specifically Horus, and was like Horus's in-man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just took notes and pictures and propaganda and whatnot. And eventually, when the Horace was revealed, he fled back to Terra and escaped Horus's grasp.
Yes.
Another notable one is Amadrena Kendall.
Yep.
She was a Sister of Silence, I believe. And Sister of Silence are like the Emperor's left hand.
They are the blanks.
Yeah, they're the blanks pariahs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are
Blanks, yeah.
anti-psychers.
Yeah. I'm not sure who that Lemuel
Goman.
But
He's clearly
I-
French,
Yeah.
so I don't care.
Yeah, but enough said. But
Hey, boy.
there's definitely stories written about him. Without a doubt, I just haven't read it in the Horus Heresy.
Yeah. So Malcador found those 4 humans, and then he found 8 Space Marines, and they are listed as Nathaniel Garrow, Epimetheus, Chiron, Tylos Rubio, Macer Varen, Janus, and Garviel Loken. And these were his knights.
Yeah, these Malcador went around and found these, and then named them the Knights Errant. And basically, they just went and did like quests for Malcador. The other big thing that we'll get into is they actually end up founding the military branch of the Inquisition of the Ordo Malleus.
Yes.
But the one of the questions was like, I forget exactly how he worded it, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to hear more about like the founders of the Grey Knights or characters or whatever."
So the errant. He wants to hear about these guys.
Yeah, and we will eventually, of course, do a specific Knights Errant episode because a lot of these characters are really, really cool.
Oh, and they're extremely fleshed out.
yeah. Like,
So we just don't
everyone
have
knows,
time.
Everyone knows Nathaniel Garrow.
Yeah,
everyone
and
knows
Garviel Loken.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And
everybody.
Janus. so we just don't have time in this episode to go into their specific deeds
Yeah.
and stuff that they've done.
But like each one of them essentially, well, not every one of them, but most of them came from like traitor legions, and then they decided not to turn traitor and they decided to stay loyal to the emperor, and then they fought their legion or escaped.
Yeah.
But each one of them proved themselves to be above and beyond like a normal measure of Astartes.
Exactly. Very stalwart, very loyal. Not unlike our Brant that we have here.
His face is so sad. He's like, "What have I gotten myself into?
I regret the
This was
decision.
not worth a Slurpee."
These things are hours long, right?
Yes.
4 to 5.
Yeah, we're in for it, boys.
Unfortunately, you can't even put us on the time and a half speed or double time speed to
Yeah.
make us get through it quicker.
That was how I listened to the first few, just
Yeah.
on double time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can try to talk really fast.
Oh, that's going to be tough when we need to read.
It's tough even at half
even
speed.
speaking. Some guy did say, he's like, hey, look, he's like, I'm going to give you guys money on the condition that you either A, teach Mark how to read, or B, build an underwater base, an underwater map.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, well, I consider both of those an impossibility. So,
I never seen that message.
yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, that's funny.
And then the final thing we want to talk about, the very founding of the Ordo Malleus, is that it was created during the War of the Beast. So this is where the Inquisition ceased to be the Inquisition and became the Ordo Malleus and the Ordo Xenos. Now,
Yeah.
they do have like separate names. Previously it was the Inquisition, and now it
Yeah.
was the Ordo Malleus. But there are references of the Ordo Malleus being used before this moment.
Yeah.
So one can assume it was kind of like an ulterior name that they had.
Sure.
An unofficial name.
Yeah. Because like the Inquisition was founded in M30, and then it wasn't until 2,000 years later when they realized that there's more threats to the Imperium than just demons. They're like,
Yes.
oh fuck,
And they needed a special branch for that threat.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so basically, they gathered the 12 people, 4 humans. They founded the Inquisition Administratum branch, and then they had 8 Space Marines, and they founded the military branch. And we'll get more into that
How that happened. yeah.
later this episode.
Yeah, the human one isn't like super interesting to me.
Well, we covered the human one all last episode, anyways.
But the
really.
Space Marines, that's what's
Yeah.
really cool.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Big buff men in loincloths.
Why would they need to be in loincloth?
Because they're
Yeah, I'd
wrestling.
prefer them
'Cause
in
they're
nothing.
You just want to see their non-genital area? It's like a Ken doll. That's all you want to see?
Hey, different strokes for different folks.
They call that the manhole.
I've seen that floating around the internet these days.
It's actually front hole.
Front hole,
Front
yeah.
hole, yeah. That's
What did I say?
manhole.
What did you
Which
say?
Front hole.
That's what I said, bitch.
Brant, why are you so mean?
Try to correct me in my own podcast? I don't think so.
He is the podcast.
Look at me. Look at me. Let's get right into the organization of the Ordo Malleus.
Yeah, because it's each Inquisition branch, each even Ordo has its different organization.
Yeah, like there's some Ordos that only have 8 people in it.
Exactly.
So they
So
can't function like the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. So the Ordo Malleus, it's ruled by a council of masters, which is comprised of 169 hidden masters.
Okay, not only that, but this next fact is absolutely astonishing.
So I told one guy, like, he was messaging us, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna need to bring a squirt bottle so like I can spray Eric every time he gets super excited, like what you just did. This next part is so read it, Eric.
Okay.
So I can squirt you.
These 169 hidden masters all have the right to direct communion with the emperor. So these 169 guys, at any time they want, are allowed to just walk up to the gate and walk through it and go see the emperor who's sitting on the throne.
Yeah, which is wild.
That is, I did not know that until
No.
I was doing research on this.
Yeah.
Before, it's only like one in like 2,000 years is allowed to go see the emperor, and then like
Yeah.
something life changing happens, right? Like Robut goes to the emperor, he goes inside, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden now you have a complete rework of the Imperium.
Yeah.
Right? Like you would think that something crazy happens every time, but these guys can do it anytime they want.
Yeah. It's just weird that this aspect hasn't been written more about.
Absolutely. Like who, and I guess they're hidden masters, so it's kind of cool.
yeah.
But yeah, you never know.
More secrecy and hidden stuff.
Ooh.
Secret police.
Guys, there's no relation to anything in the real world to this, I promise. The the hidden masters. So we talked before about how there's an inquisitorial representative, and he sits on the high counts, the High Lords of Terra.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's responsible for the Inquisitor set of that.
Yeah.
In the Imperium, these guys have the power to try the inquisitorial representative, and they have done so and executed them in the past.
Yeah,
So
which
like,
is wild.
Like if your top inquisitor is too heretical, these guys will pull you down. Like it's so cool.
It's an odd thing too. Like you would think that the Ordo Hereticus would have this power, but I don't think they do.
That we even found later.
Yeah.
And I don't know if now is the right time to do it or not.
It's always the right time.
Of course, the Inquisitors of the Ordo Malleus are actually one of the few ones that can call other Inquisitors to the stand.
Yeah.
Like an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor does not go to an Ordo Hereticus Inquisitor and say like, hey, you've been consorting with like aliens. It's the Malleus guys who are responsible for policing the other Inquisitors.
Yeah, and
which changed my view.
Yeah. I definitely would have thought it would be the Hereticus, but
Absolutely. Or even just anyone.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if you're a Xenos, I'm a Xenos, like I can recognize the Xenos taint.
Sure.
Right? But it's the
The taint turned up.
Taint? Oh, hello there. You have my interest once again.
all right, so
We lost him
warps.
there.
Warp power, psychic. He's gone. Cool. Sun's getting real low, big guy. Okay, so we have the Council of Masters, and then we have two different chambers within it. One is the Chamber of Theoretical and Historical, and this engages in research and experiments.
Which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Like they're the ones like
They're sanctioned to do warp experiments.
yeah, exactly. Like summoning demons and seeing like somebody has to write those Libra Chaotica books.
Yeah, the Demonicas
Yeah.
and like how to summon a demon. Well, we have to try it before we can write it down, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. And then the other chamber that they have is the Chamber Practical. It's always funny sometimes Games Workshop naming conventions.
I don't mind this one at all.
The Chamber Practical.
It's a very practical name.
Sure. Sure. And they're responsible for sector establishments in the field. But these would be your like actual like field guys.
Yeah, but also like so you could probably say that an inquisitor who oversees a sector would be coined as part of the Chamber Practical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's my assumption.
You could assume.
Yeah.
So the Ordo Malleus has a different number of resources that they can draw than any of the other Ordos. Like, obviously, the Ordo Astartes does not have the ability to requisition a whole bunch of things. And, like, it's a different organization.
Different branch.
Different
arm
uses.
of the Imperium.
So some things that make the Ordo Malleus notable is their Inquisitors. And one thing about their Inquisitors is they're predominantly Psychers, which is a great boon, but also a great curse, because as we know, the Ordo Malleus is dealing with warp, and warp creatures love Psychers. So it's that blessing and a curse.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
You can fight them better, but you're also more open to it.
You're a bigger door at
Yeah.
this point, right? So
They also have, in their inquisitorial retinues, they have different things that they call upon. Like, I think they're probably the only ones who are authorized for a demon host.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
But even as I say that, I'm like, well, not really, because Eisenhorn, wasn't he a Xenos guy, and he had...
initially,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But, yeah, like, I don't think other people can really do that demon host.
And you're always gonna have like the odd man out, right? Like
Yeah.
Eisenhorn, right?
Yes.
It's
yes.
just that someone wrote a story about him, and now he's a cool guy. That's all
Cool
it
guy.
is.
Fun times to be him.
Exactly.
But yeah, so
But
that would be one thing that they have. Like, they also have like all manner of like, I don't know. Think of an example. What's a good example of something else they'd have? I don't know.
Like if anyone was to have like a pariah or a blank,
Yeah, I could see them doing it
because
for sure.
it's not like every guy is like a pariah or blank.
Yeah.
Super rare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, like, so even their inquisitorial retinue is built kind of differently than other things. The other thing that they have that separates them is their war gear, and they have a lot more access to like warp killing.
Yes. What
items.
What they use is completely different than what anyone else uses.
Yeah, like they have access to like demon hammers and
psi cannons.
psi cannons and the Liber Chaotica, and like they actually have the true names of the
demons,
Like,
yeah.
they have all these extra war gear.
And true
things.
names of demons are just exact opposites of the names. That's how that works.
So good.
Of course.
Another thing special about Ordo Malleus is that they have more authority to requisition armies than other inquisitors would.
Yeah.
Just because of the threat that they face is the predominant threat.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't worry about Xenos if chaos has eaten the galaxy, right?
Yeah.
You can't worry about heretics. I mean, those are kind of hand in hand. But it's easier to deal with a heretic than it is to deal with a demon invasion.
Yeah.
So they can requisition armies and more forces than other ones.
And I'd say another reason for this too is just thinking about it would be their chamber militant branch is not that big. They only have 1,000 chamber militant branch.
Yeah.
Where the Sisters of Battle, like there's billions of them. Like they never say a number, but you
It's
can
too big.
Yeah, but you can assume it's a lot. And
When you assume, makes an ass out of you and an ass out of me, though. I want facts. I come to this podcast for facts.
okay, well let me change my words. It's a fact that
There we go.
It has not confirmed how many Sisters of Battle there are.
But we can assume. No.
we did it again. But yeah, like even the Death Watch and the Ordo Xenos, like there's more space, more Death Watch members than
Because
1,000.
it's not a real chapter, so they don't follow the Codex Astartes.
Yeah, so then they're gonna have to actually make their own armies more regularly, or requisition them.
So that's the Inquisitors, and then the other aspect of them is the Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Which is their chamber militant.
Yeah. Can we jump back to Inquisitors for one
Yeah,
second?
go for it. Do what you want, I guess. It's your podcast.
I am the podcast.
Was his podcast.
He is
It's yours now.
podcast.
Taking this thing over.
What's your first thing you're gonna do with it?
Yeah.
Fire. Clean house. Drain the swamp, baby.
Oh.
So
That would be all three of us.
Yeah.
We are the swamp.
only the useful ones will get to stay. So
Jordan.
we're all-
Yes.
So
Jordan
out
gets
of
this
us.
Jordan
thing.
gets to
Brand doesn't know how to use technology.
No.
No.
I just want to go back to the inquisitorial armies.
Yeah.
Just after they're done requisitioning them, the chances are very good what will happen to them is they'll either be mind wiped.
Well,
In a best case
actually,
situation.
probably massacred first.
Oh shit! Yes.
Like
yes.
you have the highest chance of just not surviving.
Yeah.
And if you do survive, you are definitely mind wiped.
Yeah.
And you are given actually honors post service.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we found a line that like if you die and if you're mind wiped, like you are given like honors post service. But the thing is, nobody's ever gonna know about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So welcome to the Inquisition.
Yeah. But yeah, it just shows like how I just keep going back how secret this organization actually is.
This one specifically
This
too.
one specifically.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really all I wanted to say about the armies.
Cool.
So yeah, that's really the defining features of the Inquisition, like the Inquisitors of the Ordo Malleus. Like they have access to different war gear, different tactics and stuff. But all in all, like they still are Inquisitors.
They also have a home world. I can't think of the Ordo Xenos actually having like a main place,
yeah.
do they?
No, they don't.
Okay, same
They-
with Ordo Hereticus.
Ordo Hereticus.
You could probably say
be-
Terra.
Terra. Yeah, would probably be a safe bet.
Yeah, then the temple.
Yeah.
But the
or Philion. 7,
yes, where they
maybe?
created their So,
Maybe.
but the reality is like these guys actually have like a fortress monastery. They actually control like a bunch of like moons and asteroids within that area.
Around Saturn.
Yeah, Saturn. So Saturn is the planet, but they are on Titan, which is the biggest moon, I think. I don't know if it's a moon.
It's a moon.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's no moon.
Yes.
Yeah, but they are one of the ones with an actual established fortress.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's Inquisitors. Like they're pretty much the same thing. They just have access to demon killing weapons.
Yeah, and let's be honest, we don't want to talk about them anyway.
No.
We want to talk about Grey Knights.
Grey Knights is what this episode's about.
Exactly. That's why you're here.
I seen somebody wrote Grey Knights Gray.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck is that word?
It's the exact same word.
Yeah. So I had to Wikipedia. it.
And you're like, wait a minute.
Oh,
How does
interesting.
workshop?
They
spell
do EY.
EY.
Yeah, they're European.
Are they the same word?
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So
According to
America.
I feel like people who have the name Gray is usually Gray.
Maybe America does not like the UK.
Yeah.
So when America gave the boot to the old UK, they did a lot of dumb shit
like changed color to color.
Right, or honor to honor.
Nor's in Lord of the Rings.
No, as in like honor.
Honor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
dumb and changing
For
their
all
whole
our
metric
American
system.
listeners, you actually spell it wrong.
Yes, technically, yes. And it is aluminium. The correct word is aluminium. I will never say it because I think it's dumb as shit now.
You know what I hate that Americans say? Sorry.
What
for
is
this
it?
part
Let's
away.
do it.
Just pisses me off is they call a foyer a foyer.
A foyer?
It is not called a foyer. It is a foyer.
That's that French side of us, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that.
Anyways, I digress.
Before we digress, you know how much time you can save in your life when you spell color COLOR?
How much time?
That is time saved.
When you add it all up,
When was the last time you spelt a word?
I get in those DMs every once in a while. I gotta spell a few things every once in a while.
Yo, girl, them titty cool.
them titty cool.
Yeah, that's what he's spelling.
Yeah, I'm sliding in them DMs.
Yeah, it's not. You don't do that with like proper like punctuation. Like, dear madame. All right, let's talk about the Grey Knights.
Yeah, the militant branch of the Ordo Malleus.
Their purpose is to fight and banish demons as a last resort. Now, last resort might seem drastic for me to put in there, but the reality is like they are the ultimate weapon.
Yeah.
But that being said, they also are the most expensive and the most difficult to replace.
Yeah, because there's literally only 1,000 of these, little more, but a few
It's ridiculous. Like
in the entire galaxy. Only 1,000.
yes, and they cover an entire galaxy's worth
Yeah.
of humanity.
Yeah, so most like Ordo Malleus's armies will be drafted by the Inquisitor. They'll just be,
Yeah, and then either killed or mind wiped.
Yeah, exactly. But when
How do you become a Grey Knight?
we'll get
We're
into
gonna
that.
get into that.
Oh, okay.
Basically, Jordan.
I figured as much, but
You have to have minimum 5 years security experience.
Ex-military.
No,
Now,
not even.
answer me this question though.
But you have to be under 13 when you have all these
Right. No, yeah.
credentials. So keep that in mind.
Answer me this though. Do you consider the reserves a part of the military? So, like, if someone was in like the Canadian Reserves, right?
Yes.
Could
and
they
was
say
bragging like they were part of the
right,
military?
right? They're like, yo, I'm in army. Right? Do you think they could say like when they're done with military, they're like, yeah, I'm ex-military?
I always used to have high regard for our Canadian reserves.
Of course.
because-
Long live Canada.
Yes, because
You know?
one of my good friends, Kushner, had been in the reserves and had bigger muscles than I did.
Right.
So there was a great respect there.
I had the respect.
He was alpha.
But now I know this guy Christian. He's more of a beta. And I kind of wonder every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. I think we should all wonder.
so we can't call him a veteran anymore.
Wait, you mean we can't keep getting veteran bonuses at Taco Bell? Unreal. Yeah.
Talking shit about our armed forces. Thank you for your work, but
No, of course. It's just,
You know.
it was funny that it wasn't, it's not that I'm making fun of them. I'm just making fun of the fact that Christian is so proud of the achievement. And I'm like, you're not even in army for real. You're in army for half.
I think the U.S. equivalent is the National Guard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because that sounds way more badass than the
Yeah.
reserves.
But in Canada we call it the reserves. But they're only called upon if basically. I think they have the option to go overseas, but they don't have to. But they're called upon if Canada is ever attacked.
Yes.
So
yeah, yeah.
domestic something.
They're pretty much like a civilian that's trained in army.
yeah.
Anyways. So the Grey Knights, they are used primarily as a last resort just because of how difficult it is to make them.
yeah, so they're only called in during the most crazy demonic invasions.
Yeah, and we have some really good stories
Yeah.
about that. So let's talk about the founding of the branch militant of the Ordo Malleus.
So as stated previously, they were created by the 8 Space Marines that were hand-picked by Malkador. That was
Yes.
Nathaniel Garrow, Gabriel Loken, those guys.
Yeah, yeah. So he, at the Emperor's request, searched the galaxy for those of, true hearts, strong arms, big dicks, capable of beating down those pussy ass demons.
Wait, these guys have dicks?
Oh, well, you should watch them swing them around there.
Oh, jeez. I
Like,
just got
like a
excited.
baby's arm holding an apple.
It's funny, depending on the topic, we lose Brant, Kane, Jordan. So if we're talking about big dicks, Brant pulls out his phone, Jordan perks up.
I just had to Google it really quick, and boy, oh boy, that's a lot going on
What
there.
is this big dick you speak of? Okay. So Malcador Sigilite gets these. He gets the 4 humans, 8 space marines. Goes to the emperor. Emperor says his little quote about them being their hammer.
You think you made that speech?
I
and
do.
then they're all like, cool.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, thanks, Dad."
Thanks.
And then Malcador takes them all to Titan, where they find a fully stocked and recruit-filled fortress monastery awaiting them.
Yeah, so
Which is
even
an
that,
interesting thing. The
Yeah.
Emperor had prepared this previously for them.
And like, so the Horus Heresy is only 7 years long. So pretty much
It would
either
take longer than 7 years to do this.
to build this massive fortress.
Massive fortress.
Stock it. Like, because the other thing you said was recruits, full of recruits. And we'll get into the process of what a recruit is, but like, they are rare.
Oh, yes. It is
So-
not easy to qualify for Grey Knights. So he takes them all there. And then it's also fully stocked with Gene Seed, which we have confirmation is from the Emperor.
Yeah, I think it's been confirmed now.
So the Emperor himself does not have Gene Seed. He just created a Gene Seed out of his genetic code.
Yeah,
And he's the Emperor. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
sure.
Yeah, it's magic.
Yeah.
It's easy to explain anything in a world where magic exists.
Everything except for female Space Marines.
Well, even magic.
Magic
could-
only has its so far potential, you know. Eventually, you have to.
This
cut
is
it
where
off.
you and I disagree.
You want to talk maximum power?
Yeah.
Let's talk Matt Ward right now.
Oh God.
What on earth is that? Name drop. Oh my god. No.
So-
if you
so-
say his name, he shows up, guys.
The funniest thing about Brant is, no matter what nerdy conversation we're talking about, Brant will always drop some type of like what he just did.
Right. Which, like, how does he know
Yeah,
that?
because he doesn't play. He doesn't do any
He
of it.
doesn't know who Matt Ward
and we
is.
can do some pretty obscure stuff, like talking about like Pathfinder 7th edition, this campaign, and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know."
Or like some weird Star Wars thing
Yeah.
that just out of nowhere he'll drop a name.
Yeah, so Matt Ward, I think he actually was the one who came up with the Emperor Gene Seed.
Well, when was he writing? 5th and 6th?
Yeah, 5th and 6th.
He left in 2014, but he quietly returned 2016.
Fuck.
I don't know if that's true.
It has to be.
I'm not willing to argue it.
It's Brant. It has to be true.
Yeah, it must be. Out of the mouth of Brant. So it shall be.
Yeah.
So it is the Emperor's Gene Seed.
Yeah. So yeah, they show up to this fortress monastery and it's just fully stocked, ready and waiting to be the militant branch. So during the creation of the army, the moon was placed into like a Geller field, macro Geller field, and was vanished into the warp.
So yeah, this is the I think it's described as one of the biggest psychic feats that Malcador had ever done.
Yeah.
Is
So basic.
He placed a bunch of powerful psychic wards around the planet. He set
Yeah.
up these Geller fields, which create a bubble of reality.
And-
Like, it's how Space Marine ships and
Yeah.
or how Imperial ships travel through.
Yeah.
But he effectively hid the entire planet in the warp.
Yeah. And
And see, the thing about the
warp.
warp. No, I'm just kidding.
But like, so he was just about to do this, but right before he did that, he went to Janus, one of the 8 Astartes, and he's like, "You're the Grand Master. Build me like this awesome army."
Build me an army.
And then he flew off,
worthy
did
of
some
Mordor.
crazy psychic ritual, and the whole planet vanished into
Yeah.
the warp.
Well,
you-
it's a moon, but yes.
When you hide something in the warp,
Yeah.
is that like hiding a shiv in your prison locker?
I can hear you rummaging around in there.
Pretty much the same thing. It's gonna
Exactly.
get dirty.
Yep.
When it comes out, it has a new horror. Like
Absolutely. Yeah. You need to wrap it or else it's like protect it.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to do some serious damage. Pretty much the same. Do you have a lot of experience hiding things in your prison locker? Prison wallet?
We've all had our rough nights out there.
Oh, nope. Anyways.
So, so he put Janus in charge, and then the planet got sucked into the warp for 100 years.
Yes, and after these 100 years, Titan reemerges during the second founding. How coincidental. And it becomes the 666th chapter. So the interesting thing to note is that there is actually an official record of this chapter in the Administratum's second founding,
Yeah.
but it was done very, very hush-hush. And I'm assuming that if anyone were to ever look at the record, they would find nothing important. It would just be like
I'd say
Grey Knight.
expunged, maybe even.
Yeah,
or
maybe-
not expunged, but
No, not even that. I'm just like Gene Seed unknown
Yeah,
or like Home Planet unknown.
Yeah.
It would just be the name and the designation of the 666.
yeah. So you're saying like how coincidental that they came out during the second founding, and like at this point Malkador was dead.
Yes.
So like it is. I wonder if if Malkador put a timer on it.
Absolutely.
Or,
Like that's my assumption because
Yeah.
I don't believe any of the other psychers would be powerful enough to even meddle with anything
Yeah.
that Malkador was doing.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing to note, while 100 years passed in real space, like they say, I don't think they give an exact
They
number,
don't. But what they do give you is what has happened on the moon in that time.
yeah. So in that amount of time, when they reemerge as a full chapter with 1,000 strong, battle ready.
Yes,
Grey
fully
Knights.
trained, fully
trained.
battle ready.
Yeah, and like they say that time does pass like quicker in the warp.
It
in
can-
in this instance, it does. So when they come out, like it was only 100 years, but it could have been 1,000 years
Yes.
technically.
To create like 1,000 battle brothers, like of Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Like that, it blows your mind
Yeah.
when you actually realize what it takes to make a Grey Knight.
Anytime you want to do something miraculous, you got to. I mean, look back to Goku
Yeah.
going into the time warp. You know,
Yeah.
you got to do these types of things to get ahead of the game, get ahead of that curve.
Gotta increase the gravity of your planet.
Yeah.
There's no way you could beat Majin Buu without.
You keep spending time in that time warp, and
All right.
It's true. It's true.
Okay, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
It totally reminds me of that too, actually.
Does it?
Yeah.
You guys are losers. Anime. Freaking weebs.
I recall seeing you watch
Yeah.
full on.
Don't know what
anime.
you're talking about.
Not even dubbed anime. Full on. You're watching anime in Japanese.
Hi.
Subtitles only.
Not even. Not even with this guy. He thinks he knows the language.
Charlie. The episode of Always
don't
Sunny where Charlie thinks he's super smart, so he's like, "Wushu dosho dasha," and the guy,
again,
the Chinese guy
Complete
is
gibberish.
yeah, the Chinese guy is again. This man cannot speak Chinese. All right.
But yeah, so they came out of the warp fully equipped, fully ready to fight the demons
Yes.
that are like invading the galaxy.
Absolutely. So
That's
let's
kind of like their history, really. Like that's their founding, and
and
that's
then ever
the
since then,
mythos.
it's just been great deed after great deed after great deed.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever been really like any time where the chapters like fall into like we only have like 10 guys left. I don't think there's ever been any like crazy instance like that or.
No, I don't recall ever hearing that, but there is a moment of shame in their history.
Do you know it off the top of your head?
I do not.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll leave you guys with that little tidbit.
Google Grey Knight shame.
But
Yeah, like there's never been any like reorganization of the chapter and nothing like that. Like for the past 10,000 years, it's basically just been kicking demons' asses.
yeah.
And yeah, they've had their losses, but they're few.
Few and far between.
Yeah. So let's talk about what an actual Grey Knight Space Marine is. If you want to refer back to episode 20, we talk about a lot about like Space Marine recruitment, Space Marine gene seed, and all that. So maybe just go have that a listen. But
Okay, sorry, I found the months of shame.
the months of shame.
I knew why
Okay.
the shame had happened. So it actually has to do with Space Wolves. We totally talked about
yes,
it. So
yes.
it refers to after the first War of Armageddon, which is War of the Beast. No, War of the Beast is second.
No, it's completely different.
I thought War of the Beast.
Armageddon
happened.
happens in like M40. War of the Beast happens in M32.
I thought that was on Armageddon. What am I thinking of? Clearly, I do not.
It was.
Oh,
It was.
I see. Okay.
The Wars of Armageddon are different.
Okay, gotcha. So after the first War of Armageddon, there was a purge of the Ordo Malleus against survivors of the conflict.
Yeah.
Because they were just like, man, like, I bet everyone here is taken by chaos. So eventually what happened is like the Space Wolves were like not okay with the Ordo just killing everyone.
Yeah.
So eventually got into like a fight with the Grey Knights and the Space Wolves.
Yeah.
And so that is like the Grey Knights' months of shame, is that they actually killed like Battle Brothers. And let's be honest right now, the Space Wolves are pretty much heretics.
Yeah, they're not fun.
No.
They're just...
They could be doing with a good killing, I'd be saying.
Yes,
in
yes.
my mind.
Some would say their
Anyways.
gene seed is corrupted.
Right. Mutated, even some would say.
Mutated,
Some would
yes.
even say they have a curse upon them.
Even they would say that about themselves.
Exactly. Anyways, but that would be like the only moment that the Grey Knights have that would be written as like not a great moment for them.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I've never really liked that story arc.
Oh, it's dumb. Anything with Space Wolves is dumb. I honestly, it's tough for me to find Space Wolf stuff that I enjoy. It's very small tidbits here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking wolves, you're talking dire wolves.
Oh, or Get Out.
Yo, yes.
Right? Like all the wolves on Fenris?
Oh, man. The best.
Of course, the
There are
best.
no wolves on Fenris.
What? What about all the wolves?
Oh yeah, those are space wolves. Don't worry about it. It's all fucked.
I was half expecting Brant to be like, there are no wolves on Fenris, because you never know. All right.
Yeah, so let's talk about the recruitment.
Yes.
The number one thing needed to be a recruit for a Grey Knight is you must prove yourself to have great psychic potential.
Yes, absolutely. Like
Each Grey Knight is a powerful psyker.
extremely powerful. And there's a couple different reasons for this, but we can get into that. And the primary place that they draw these people are from the black ships.
Yeah.
And we've referenced these a couple times.
Racist.
Oh, don't you do
You
it?
just had a little tick there. So we've referenced the black ships a couple times, but Mark was saying that he didn't think we ever described them. So go
Yeah,
ahead.
like the black ships are basically like inquisitorial ships that are painted black. And
Paint.
yeah, the black ships basically are controlled by the Inquisition, and they wander the galaxy gathering up psychers. And they
just
do that
to protect humanity.
Yeah, they do it for a number of reasons. Yeah, one, to protect humanity. They also will send the psychers to Terra to be devoured by the Emperor. We'll talk about that eventually.
Do it
I'm
just
sure.
to get out of the house, away from the wife for a minute.
Of course.
Yeah. They'll also use these black ships to fill the the ranks of the Grey Knights, or even other chapters are known to draw from them.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
as often, but
The reason that the Grey Knights would do it is just because everyone on the black ship is already a psyker or has the potential to be one.
Yeah.
But yes, Grey Knight, you must be a psyker of great potential.
yeah.
You have to pass the 666 rituals of detestation, proving your will to withstand the horrors.
Yeah. So ritual 1.
Watch your mother be murdered.
Okay.
All we do know is that by the end of these 666 rituals, you have gone through so much emotional and mental trauma and strain that it will send most fully Space Marines, insane. And these are
And that might be
8-year-olds.
watching your grandma get raped.
You never know.
You never know.
You
That
never
might
know.
be the ritual.
But most of it's going to have to do with warp stuff.
yeah.
Right? It's going to be with temptation and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, you have a recruit who is probably around 8 years old.
Yeah.
And next to a fully blooded Space Marine,
Yeah.
and this 8-year-old is withstanding more mental trauma than the Space Marine.
Yeah. Like it.
That shows you the mental fortitude that's required out of these children.
It's all the video games, man. The kids are totally numb to everything.
Oh, these violent video games.
Oh, man, it's all shoot 'em ups all damn day.
Heck, even if you're playing a fantasy football video game, if you lose, you still end up go shoot up people.
Man, you see all those football guys kneeling and stuff, you're numb. You're numb to it all.
We're just gonna make obligatory news cycle references.
Oh, man. Private information on your laptop? That's all it is.
Yeah, so they end up going through these rituals, and yeah, it's crazy. Like, somehow they pass.
Yeah, but you got to think, how many people does that weed out?
Yeah, exactly.
First of all. Okay.
So then anyone who does survive, they get their memories wiped.
And personalities.
And personality from before they were, like, a Space Marine. Like, I'm sure they're not wiping the memory of these 666 trials.
You never know.
You never know.
Because
but I would
at that
imagine
point,
you'd
they've
want
already proven themselves.
Yeah, but I would imagine you want them to keep that, like, as like I beat these 666
Maybe.
trials. Maybe not.
I could see both.
But, yeah, but I think the major reason is more just to eliminate any personal ties to the galaxy.
Remove any attachment that this person potentially had.
Yeah.
Yeah. After their memories and personalities are wiped, the gene seed process is started. We're not going over all the gene seeds because we already did that in episode 20.
Yeah,
and that process,
they get all the same gene seed.
Yes, they are not Primaris.
No.
So they do not include those 3 special ones, but all that other gene seed they get.
Yeah, they can spit acid. They have those bionerve muscles.
And one would even say that they have the most pure
Yes.
gene seed, especially if it comes from the Emperor.
Yeah.
An interesting thing to note that is added to them in this gene seed process is that silver purity wards are implanted under the skin of their entire body.
Yeah.
So Mark and I were just hypothesizing that, it makes complete sense at the same time they get the black carapace.
Yeah.
They just get these wards implanted everywhere. Silver
Yeah.
being a pure metal anathema to demons.
Just in case they come across a couple werewolves out there. It's just one more little bit of defense.
Space wolves.
Space wolves. Exactly.
Space werewolves.
Space wolves, yes, sir.
Yep, pretty much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your wisdom.
Yeah. So also during their recruitment, they're given a number as their memories and personalities are wiped
Yeah,
out.
that's
so
their
at that
designation.
Point, like they're just called like 500, recruit 54, recruit 98.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they just get rid of any human tie whatsoever. Like
Yeah, these guys are so inhuman by
Yeah.
the time they're done.
Yeah. But upon completion of their training, they're given a new name that is the perfect opposite to a particular demon's true name. These names are divine and collected for later use. Using this, the names are recycled over and over again.
Yes.
But yeah, like they're given some name that, like, if a demon's name was like Slaughter, like the Grey Knight's name would be like
Slaughter
Peace.
backwards, so RETHG.
RETCP. What is means to me?
Yep, that's the word, Mark. But yes, you are correct. They like a demon's name would not translate to English common very well. Low
Yeah,
Gothic.
like most demons' names are like
Right,
you know?
because they speak like demonically,
Yeah.
right? So that would be with any mouths if they have them. Some have 30 mouths, right?
Yeah.
Some don't even have mouths. So there's a spoken aspect, we would assume, but there's also the psychic aspect of their name.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the anti-name is, it would cancel out all the power that this demon's name brings
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah. So they have like these prognosticators
Yep.
that like see into the future a little bit.
It's
and they
kind
see
of
like
like
demon incursions.
It's kind of
and-
like a web reader, like a web of fate reader in
Yeah.
the Eldar. That's how I see them.
yeah, and so they might see like, oh, this crazy demon prince is going to leave this incursion here like in 20 years. So let's name this recruit this opposite name of the demon.
Let's divine his name first of all. You
Yeah.
know, let's summon a couple lesser demons to find out what his name
Yeah.
is. Let's see what he's done before and try and learn what it is, and then let's create the anti-name for
Yeah.
him. Because there's no way it's a simple process.
Yeah.
Anything with the warp is not.
Sometimes I love 40K because of stuff like this. Like, this is such a cool concept. Other times I fucking hate it because, like, when you look at like Grey Knight names, they have named characters and they are not like they're regular English names.
I
they're-
kind of have a thought on that.
sure,
So
enlighten me, change my mind.
there's two potential thoughts.
Yeah, okay.
So Kaldor Drago.
Yeah,
The easiest one is that that's not his true name.
yes,
That's the easiest one.
yeah,
and I
that-
think that's dumb.
Yeah, like
The other one that I prefer more
Okay.
is that Kaldor Drago is the low Gothic or even high Gothic. What do you call when you translation?
yeah.
Of his true name, and his true name, when imparted by him with power and authority and psychic ability,
Yeah.
then it becomes the actual antithesis of
Yeah.
a demon's name.
Yeah, and that's probably what I'd attribute it to too. But
I
it's
just, it's so badass to think like Kaldor like screaming his own name and this demon just like being bombarded
Yeah.
and like that, like,
But like
oh.
that's not how it's interpreted in the books. Like
No.
when you read them, he's not running around yelling Kaldor Drago, you know.
But
like,
it wouldn't sound like Kaldor Drago to us, right? Because we could not comprehend
Yeah.
what he's actually saying.
Yeah, and a lot of it too has to do with like the psychic meaning behind it.
Exactly.
too. But,
Yes.
yeah, sometimes I just wish that they were like, I don't blame them. 40K is such a huge galaxy, you can't know everything about it. I just sometimes wish that these cool aspects of it were translated a little better
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
They should just go to Google and go your rap name. So Young plus last thing you bought, and that's his name.
Young
What?
Slurpee.
Young Slurpee.
Slurpee.
That's the guy. Fear him.
Last thing I bought, Young Transit Ticket. That's the last thing I bought.
Jordan.
Young prostitute. Oh, what?
Excuse me.
Young high class prostitute.
Escorts, we call them.
Escort. Okay.
Young escort,
Now
yo.
is the escort young?
Feminist, feminine companion.
Actually, sorry to disappoint, but breakfast burrito.
Young breakfast burrito. Young BB.
Yeah. Actually, no latte.
What a hipster. And Mark, what is yours?
What? Young Slurpee.
Oh, both of you guys are Young
I bought
Slurpee.
these Slurpees.
Oh, so what was the last thing you bought, Brant?
I said already.
What was
Young
it?
prostitute.
Oh, that was you. I thought you were saying it about me.
That's awkward.
Oh, I thought we were in the same boat.
Two cool
Said
guys.
it for us.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so that's kind of their naming conventions. The other thing that happens is,
So this is kind of just a cool fact.
yeah, like for every one Grey Knight that exists, 1 million human psychers will die in the process.
Now, I was trying to find the actual quotation of this because it's a hard fact and people will always argue with you over hard facts if you're
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
So it's completely possible I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but I believe at some point when I was reading, like, this is how many like regular people it takes to survive everything
Yeah.
in order to make one battle brother. So you
The
think,
average?
yeah, like you have 1,000 battle brothers. How many people died?
A billion.
Quick math. Coming at you live with Jordan.
It's not
Quick
a
math.
billion.
Quick math.
1,000.
Oh no, you're right.
1,000
Totally is.
million. Yeah.
Totally is.
But like, I
1,000.
think the kind of the standard quote is like, for every one guardsman, or for every million guardsmen, there's one space marine, and then for every for every million space marines, there's one Grey Knight or something like that.
Yeah.
I,
But that
That's
just
not
shows you
quite
how
right.
rare they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember how I butchered that quote because obviously there's more than
That's okay.
yes.
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. Numbers.
But that
Either
is-
way,
it should just show you how much it actually takes to create a Grey Knight.
yeah, exactly.
That's what we want to show right in that moment.
And that's
is-
why they're only used in like the most dire of circumstances.
So then to get a Grey Knight, it's 1,000. How much did you say?
1,000,000 regular people
yeah,
1 million to get what? To get a Space Marine.
to get
Yeah.
to get a single.
Space Marine,
Oh.
and then for every Space Marine, for every million,
So then
Space
it's like
Marines, there's one Grey
it's like a
Knight.
trillion.
Yeah.
To get one.
The reason the Grey Knights like are so much more difficult is because they have to be psychers,
Right,
And they go
yeah.
through these rituals before they even.
But they're 1 in a trillion, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So now that you know what it takes to be a Space Marine, and now you understand why you would never be fit to be one.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. Let's talk about the organization of how the Grey Knights work.
Yeah. So at the top, there is the Supreme Grand Master, and he's the highest authority in the chapter.
But there is the 8 Grand Masters underneath. And those Grand Masters are each responsible for a brotherhood. And then when a Supreme Grand Master needs to be replaced, they are the ones who vote.
Yeah,
on it.
and they're probably the ones that are also
It's like a high council.
candidate. What?
Like promoted.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of them will be. The
Oh
next
yeah, they're
high.
not unless someone crazy comes along. You never know.
Yeah. Right now, the Supreme Grand Master is Caldor Drago.
But
and-
it's unfortunate because he doesn't really.
yeah, and I think for the rest of time he will be because he's like this warp creature now, essentially.
Yeah.
like he's bound to the warp. You can't. I don't think you can really kill him. There's no like.
No.
There's no actual like description of him dying and then coming back. He's just so good that he can't die.
Yeah,
but
part of that is plot armor.
Have they poisoned his food?
they have tried, yes, twice with 2 different types of poison, rat and vermin.
He's tough guy.
Tough nut to crack. Yeah, he is the current Grand Master, but as Mark said, he is in the moment he's actually trapped in the warp.
Yeah.
It's a curse. So he's not really around
Yeah.
the Grey Knight chapter.
Yeah,
There's a really cool story behind him.
yeah.
So much cool stuff.
So much cool stuff.
All right.
So yeah, so there's 8 Grand Masters, each in charge of a brotherhood. A brotherhood is roughly 1,000 Marines. Oh, sorry, 100 Marines.
I was going to say, Mark, well, there's 8,000 Marines?
Yes.
Yes, no, each one is responsible for around 1,000.
Yeah.
But 100, jeez.
And underneath
The
Grandmasters,
Grandmasters,
they have brother captains.
yeah, that's like their right-hand man.
Yeah. And they're usually like the ones actually
Commanding
in the field.
The
Like I think-
Grandmasters would probably have more of a council role.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they aren't like the best Grey Knights ever, because
Yeah.
they totally are.
Yeah. Then they also have. Let's do all the specialties after.
Sure.
Let's talk about Grey Knight exclusive ones.
Sure. So champions.
So then they have brother champions, and they've forsaken all combat except for the blade, and they're usually the personal bodyguard to a brother captain.
They are the best sword fighters that the chapter has to offer.
Yeah. Underneath them, they have Justicars.
They're like sergeants.
Yeah, they're just sergeants. For every one Justicar, you have 10 or 9 regular guys.
Yeah.
They're just sergeants.
And the regular guys would be
they're just battle
Battle
brothers,
brothers,
and they have 3 different types of battle brothers. Essentially, they have strike brothers, which are they're just your regular like combat squad. They got 7 guys with the standard Stormbolter, Nemesis, Force Blade, and then 1 guy will have a heavy weapon, 1 guy will have a special weapon.
Yeah.
It's just a
and
standard
then
squad.
there would be a Justicar.
Yeah. Then you have purigation squads, which are basically heavy weapon squads. So think like Devastators.
Yeah.
There's 4 heavy weapons in the squad.
Lots of heavy flamers.
Psi cannons.
Yeah.
Then they have interceptors, and these guys, they're pretty sweet.
They're pretty sweet. Not only is the model pretty unique and just in the backpack wise, but their whole thing is that they just teleport around the battlefield.
Yeah, they have like built-in little mini teleporters. But what's wild about their teleportation is you fucking go into the warp.
Yes.
Like it.
They step through the warp in order to teleport.
They open little mini warp rifts. Yeah, and they just step through and then blink around.
And that's why it takes a very strong psycho to do it, because they are going into the warp, so they have to be able to withstand the terrors.
Yeah. And the only other exclusive Grey Knight is they're called ferrymen, and they're former Grey Knights that have become pariahs and tend to the dead fields.
I would not be surprised if this gets retconned.
I don't know.
Something that becomes a pariah, it's in your gene.
And like how powerful psychers become pariahs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried to do more research on it. I couldn't find anything.
What if it was burned out of you?
I don't know.
That could be an interesting thing.
Yeah, like you go too hard with the psychic powers, and then it just like drains you of your psychic.
Or even like other like Grey Knights will be like, okay, like you're getting too dangerous. Like we'll just
like that kind of burn.
they'll burn the psychic ability out of you. Somehow seal you up or whatever, but in that moment it like changes your DNA. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an excuse.
Anyone who's read an actual book with this in it, please send us a message.
Yeah, because I couldn't find anything either.
So the Grey Knights,
Yeah.
they're pretty progressive. They got flamers, fairies.
Classic Sakura joke.
Yeah, thanks for having you here, Brant. Yes, very progressive.
Very much progression.
But these guys also have chaplains and librarians.
And tech marines.
Tech marines, yes. The thing is, all of them have to be extremely powerful psychers.
Yeah.
And all of them will...
Yeah. Like, even their chaplain is a powerful librarian.
Absolutely. But the thing about the chaplain is, like, they have to do... Like, what they're looking for is way more nefarious and dangerous than what a regular chaplain is looking for.
Yeah.
Right? So their job is the same, just much harder. Same with a librarian. Like, you think, like, a regular, like, ultramarine librarian is badass? Well, try standing out in a chapter made exclusively with the most powerful psychers in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Right? Like...
Then you're pretty powerful.
Yeah. When everybody's special, no one is. Except for this guy.
And yeah, the tech marines are standard tech marines. They go to Mars for their tech training, and then they come back and serve the chapter.
I always thought that was interesting. Do you think they just lie about their chapter when they're on Mars?
I just don't think it's a necessary...
No. You just go in as a random...
Yeah, like, because why would the Mechanicum ever care what chapter you come from?
I just feel like they have records.
Probably, but I don't know. It's just, like, I would see the Mechanicum being like, oh, it's just another space marine. Like...
Do you think the Tech Marine ascribes to the cult?
Oh, absolutely. They all
Interesting.
do, yeah. So that's another reason why I don't think they would really care what chapter you come from, because you become a part of the cult Mechanicum. Right.
I wonder if they would, like, if they ever had to choose, are they putting the duty of a Grey Knight first or of a Tech Marine?
I'm going to say Tech Marine.
I'm going to say Grey Knight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. We have 2 differences of opinions. If only we could solve this some way.
Can't think of a way. Anyways, What would you like, Brant?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Jordan, do you have anything to say about that?
Nope.
All right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, Jordan.
Moving along.
So that's kind of all the different types of things.
They also have Terminators.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
at the very last.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. They have Terminator squads, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Brotherhoods for a minute. Brotherhoods are roughly 100 men and 100 Astartes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like each one kind of has its own.
They have 8 brotherhoods.
Yeah, and each one kind of has its different squad organization or whatever. Like some might have more Purigators than other ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just go through a couple of them here.
Okay.
The first brotherhood is known as the Sword Bearers. This brotherhood maintains and administers the chapter's armory, and as such are called upon when the Grey Knights required armor and aerial support. In their ranks are the finest pilots in the chapter, as well as the Grey Knight Tech Marines. The Battle Brothers of the First Brotherhood are drilled to fight in perfect unison with these war machines.
So normally you would expect the first company to be all veterans and in Terminator armor.
Yeah,
But nothing in there says they are.
no. And there's a reason for that.
Okay. Moving
Because
on then.
They're not. Well, like each Grey Knight company is a self-contained
So
army.
they will have their own veterans within that army
Yeah.
that
They
wear
will have their own
Terminators.
Terminator
So
squads
they
and-
function completely different than
Yeah.
Reboot Gilliman's version
Yeah.
of the Codex.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, because when they were doing all this, they were
Exactly.
stuck on stuck in
There
Titan,
was no-
and there was no codex. And when they came out, they've already had this stuff going,
And they've
so-
been training with it for how many years? So,
But,
the second brotherhood is called the Blades of Victory. And this brotherhood is known for its rapid deployment and swift strikes, making large use of interceptor squads and strike squads, using mass teleportation tactics to outmaneuver their foes and create a beachhead for heavier troops to follow. The second is often in the vanguard of Grey Knight's assault. The Grandmaster of the Second, Admiral of the Grey Knight fleet, excels as the art of maneuver and deployment. He relies heavily on prognosticars to provide him with vital tactical information.
cool.
Yeah. So
So-
he's using like the warp to divine the future, so he knows the best place to deploy.
Yeah. And so as you can see, each one of these has a very distinct theme. So if you're making a Grey Knight army, and you're doing an armored company, do the first brotherhood.
Yeah.
If you're using a lot of interceptors, use the second. So yeah, you can kind of theme your army around each one, or not.
Or not. Do it however the heck
you
you
should.
want. Oh, of course. If you're gonna do it right.
Do we want to read all these?
I kind of do.
Okay, let's read them all then.
All right, go for it.
The third brotherhood, the Ward Makers. They believe in Matt Ward and making the ward. Classic. According to the legend, this was the Brotherhood of Janus, first supreme Grand Master of the Grey Knight. The third has thus... My phone's so cracked, it's sometimes hard to read. The third has thus fostered many of the Grey Knight's greatest heroes, such as Kaldor Drago and Arian Stern.
Arvan.
Arvan Stern.
Arian.
Arian Stern. The Grand Master of this brotherhood is the Warden of the Librarius, having authority over the Librarium Demonica and the chapter's librarians.
Cool. We will get into the Librarian Demonica.
Very cool.
So a lot of heroes out of that chapter.
Yeah.
Fourth brotherhood, the Prescient Brethren. Within the ranks of the fourth are the chapter's most potent psychers, and it is from this brotherhood that the new prognosticars are often chosen. The prognosticar's ability to predict danger before it occurs has made the fourth home to some of the greatest duelists in the chapter's history. The Grand Master of the fourth is the keeper of the Augurium.
Are you saying force or fourth?
Fourth.
Oh, bummer.
You see, lightsabers are created when the
most rare crystal.
of the galaxy of the Kybers go into the shaft of the lightsaber. Right? Is that what you'd rather talk about?
Force.
The fifth brotherhood, the Preservers. The fifth are responsible for training the Grey Knights apothecaries and overseeing the management and preservation of precious gene seed. The Grand Masters of the fifth is the chief apothecary of the chapter. Uh-oh, my phone is skipped.
As well as the protector of the Sanctum Sanctorum. The fifth are also managers of the Grey Knight's dreadnoughts, of which you would assume they have quite a few,
Yeah.
because the Grey Knight is just too valuable a resource. You good or...
I think I got to get myself an iPad.
Yeah.
And not a,
Shout out to Apple if they want to just sponsor, give us an iPad for the show.
just so I can
Just for the show.
read.
The sixth brotherhood is known as the rapiers, and the sixth are known as stringent taskmasters and strategic thinkers. The grandmaster of the sixth, called the high seneschal of the citadel of Titan, pretty cool, badass title,
Yeah.
is tasked with crafting the most elite and deadly strike forces. Rather than mass firepower, the sixth relies on surgical strikes of elite small squads. When mass manpower is necessary, the sixth will deploy mindless servitors to bog down the enemy to allow the Grey Knights to focus on higher risk targets. Or PDFs.
Yeah. Servitors, PDFs, whatever.
Right, exactly.
Meat bags.
Exactly.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
The seventh brotherhood, the exactors. The seventh have a long history of operating alongside the Ordo Malleus, and certain respected inquisitors may call upon them in turn. In return, the seventh relies on the Inquisition to give them intelligence and supply them with auxiliary forces. The seven often fight alongside other Imperial troops requisitioned by Inquisitors, such as the Imperial Guard. Those brave mortal troops that survive these battles continue to serve the seventh as mind scourge servitors.
Like, oh, wow, like
Hooray.
you did it. You survived, and mine gone. And now you're a servitor.
But when I read this, it almost seems like these guys are almost exclusively working with like no other company will work with the Inquisition. Like if the Inquisition calls upon a force, it's usually these ones that are answering.
Yeah. Now,
Not that it states that, but
I would say that it's not that other ones won't.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just that maybe this is like the first guy to pick up the telephone.
exactly it. Yeah.
And they've got like a direct line to the seventh,
Yeah.
right? Because the reality is like the Inquisition doesn't really control these guys.
No.
Like they have their own ways, like the prognosticars of
Yeah.
determining what the need is, and
Yeah.
they go there themselves. They are
Yeah.
a pretty autonomous
Yeah.
chamber militant, even of the Ordo Malleus.
Yeah. When they were sent to the warp, an Inquisitor was not sent in there with them.
No, it was just Space Marines and
Yeah.
whatever servitors and tech marines. or
Yeah,
whatever
but
it was.
like they're on their own. They're
Yeah.
supposed to function on their own.
exactly.
The eighth brotherhood, the Silver Blades. The eighth is charged with recruiting and training new Grey Knights. However, upon the completion of their training, a warrior may choose to stay within the eighth, something many choose. The eighth is known to fight in fluid configurations, changing tactics swiftly during combat. Any available weapon is put to use, and no strategy or maneuver is preferred over the other. The master of the eighth acts as the master of recruits for the Grey Knights.
Yeah. If you were to make like a brotherhood where you felt like it didn't fit in any of the ones, this is the one where you'd put it.
Sure, yeah, because any tactic, they just do
Exactly.
whatever they want. But yeah, like, it's really cool that, like, you can actually find, like, a good, strong theme and go with it.
Yeah.
So, the Grey Knights also have two unique organizations outside of Brotherhoods.
Yeah, you'll notice there's only 8 there.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's 800 guys, but you're short 200 Marines now.
Yeah.
And this is where you find them in those 2 other places.
Yeah, so the first one is the Hall of Champions, and it will normally consist of 100 paladins. And what a paladin is, it's the best of the best Grey Knight.
So you already have a Space Marine.
Yeah,
And then you make them and then you have a Grey Knight.
yeah,
And then you have a Paladin.
yeah. And the paladins are led by the High Paladin.
Oh, so there's
Yes,
even the guy
there's
who's
a-
better than all the other Paladins.
Yes, sir. But they're known for their martial prowess. Like, they are just amazing warriors. Like,
Yes.
yeah, and that they have these trials that they go through to become it.
Yeah, you have to do 8 quests in order to join the Paladins. So anyone can request to join the Paladins, but they say, okay, you want to do it,
Yeah.
you got to jump through these hoops for us.
Yeah.
And there's
I
8
believe,
of them.
I believe one of the quests was you have to kill a demon prince with nothing but your force weapon.
Yes.
Like-
that sounds very familiar
Yeah,
to me.
and it's like, oh, yeah,
Like
okay.
that's pretty wild.
Like force push.
yes.
Or like force
exactly.
choke.
Force lightning.
Yes.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like, they on tabletop they're wild. They have like 80 wounds and they're just wild.
Even the model is just so
Yeah.
cool.
They're always equipped in like Terminator armor, and yeah, like the paladins are just the height of the martial prowess of the chapter.
which is the best of all the chapters that ever existed. Like, if you wanted Space Marines,
Yes.
Marines,
Yes.
you've got Grey Knights. There was no need for Primaris. Anyways, besides that.
Different, but okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to find reasons to not have Primaris.
You don't need to.
You don't need to. They
Yeah.
just shouldn't be.
So the other thing they have is they have the Chambers of Purity. Now, these guys are... The difference between Paladins and the Purifiers is that you cannot request to join the Chamber of Purity.
Yeah.
You have to be selected. And they only choose the Grey Knights for their purity of spirit. And the interesting thing about them is their very presence is damaging to warp spawn.
Yeah, like
So
their
they're-
soul is so bright that any
So
demons-
powerful, so
Yeah.
pure.
Yeah, that any demons that come close to them like suffer from it. They get the burn, the burning sensation.
It's just so cool.
yeah. So where you have the paladins, where like they'll fuck you up with a sword, these ones are gonna fuck you up with psychic powers.
Yes. These guys, the Chambers of Purity, are actually in the very depths of the fortress monastery, and they keep vigilant watch over the horrors that are all over in the vaults. There's actually a part in it where there's like the Sanctum Sanctorum. Anyways, there's a lot of different areas, but there's one guarded by these purifiers, which they do everywhere. And there's 3 passwords you have to have in order to go through. And they say that if you get even one wrong, the purifiers will kill you immediately, because their assumption, I'm guessing, is that you're a spawn, you're demon possessed
Yeah.
trying to get in.
Yeah. If you don't
Because
know
no
the
Grey
passwords-
Knight would never do that.
Yeah, if you don't know the password, you're not supposed to be in there.
Exactly.
So having known that, like, yeah, normal Grey Knights are not going to try to sneak in there.
Right, it's like a ritual of initiation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
can you guess the password?
Yeah.
No.
But
It's just like that shows their level of devotion. Like, they will even kill like a Grey
Yeah.
Knight brother.
yeah. And having said that, yeah, like they will strike down any Grey Knights, like even just not only that enter their domain, but like maybe if one of them is like, I know no Grey Knights fall into chaos, but maybe one is kind of getting a taint.
Right.
They could potentially be the one striking them down.
And if
Like,
anyone were to see it, it's going to be either the chaplains or these guys.
yeah, but
right?
not that any Grey Knights ever fall.
No,
but
it'd be impossible.
yeah,
It's an impossibility.
but yeah. So yeah, the
Those-
paladins and the purifiers are
They exist outside the brotherhoods.
yeah, and they're 2 different things. One's the best at fighting. One's like super psychic, powerful, pure.
All right, let's talk about where they live, their armory, stuff like that.
Yeah, so the fortress monastery is on Terra, and it's carved entirely of basalt
Well, I'm going to stop you right there, Mark. It's definitely not on Terra.
or Titan,
Yes.
Titan.
Oof.
Titan.
We were about to get some very angry emails.
Yes, that's just a word slip
Word slip of the mouth tongue.
of the mouth tongue. And there's many hanging pendants, banners, and flags commemorating and immortalizing the deeds of the chapter.
There's an area called the Chamber of Trials, which is the start of a journey, the recruit's journey in becoming a knight. So this is like where the recruit is brought.
Yeah.
There's just an area.
And this is probably where they do their 666
Yeah.
rituals of destitution or whatever the fuck it was.
detestation.
Detestation.
Absolutely.
The Agrarium.
So 660 trials wasn't enough.
No.
No, they needed 6 more.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, to not only match the number of their chapter, but also to match the number of the devil.
Ooh. First of all, Mark, there is no devil. Not in 40K.
There's only people
Exactly.
that do bad things,
No
that act like devils.
guns don't kill people. People pick up guns and shoot them at other people.
Barring that, they'll run you over with a cart. Barring
Right.
that,
Or they'll just grow a tentacle and strangle you with that tentacle. It is 40K after all.
So the Agrarium, the silver pinnacle that is the chapter Agrarium, lies at the top of the fortress monastery and is its tallest tower. Within its mirrored walls, the Grey Knight prognosticators go about their rituals and meditations to the light of the guttering candles. But
Kinda
these
just-
guys like see the future. They probably
Yeah.
like stare into the mirror until it like starts to like change into like
Yeah, it just paints a really cool picture for you. And like, so prognosticars are old Grey Knights as well.
Yeah.
So Grey Knights that, having served for so long, can no longer serve on the battlefield. Like, let's say all of a sudden they're missing both legs and arms. Like, sure, like you can give them like bio arms and everything, but you won't function as well as like the true arm. I don't know. That's my guess. I'm guessing like anything that would reduce their ability by a little bit, you'll become one of these. because you have to be so perfect to be a Grey Knight.
I see it more as a calling.
Really?
Yeah.
It
Well, 'cause, like,
definitely says old.
Yeah. Old for sure. But like, if you lose a leg, you can get a bionic that is just as good, if not more efficient. Like,
Machines are fickle.
not in 40K, they're not.
No?
Machines are hardy in 40K, and you whisper sweet nothings to them.
And then its spirit will rise and help
Yeah.
you. Anything's possible.
Sure.
But it sets a cool image
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yes, these massive like space marines just trying to divine the future by staring into the warp all day and all night.
Yeah.
They also have the Chamber of Purity. So this is what the purifiers will protect. It is said to be haunted with the ghosts of vanquished foes clawing at the walls of reality. The purifiers are charged with containing this madness, and that's why they have to have such a pure soul, because they are constantly fighting the warp with these horrors. They suspect that these ghosts are a symptom of something ancient and powerful that slumbers beneath the surface of Titan.
Yeah.
What could it be?
I don't know. What
This
could it be?
animal that I
Thanos.
did see.
Thanos.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. No, Satan.
You think?
No.
Yeah,
It's got to
like-
be demon related.
Yeah, exactly. But who knows what?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe there's just a demon that's trapped down there.
Yeah. The Sanctum Scriptorum.
Sanctorum?
Scriptorium.
Okay.
Scriptoris. No? Okay.
No.
Contains accumulated knowledge of their long history, psychic abilities, and closely guarded technological secrets, and the other tools that are unique to keeping their chapter low power. My phone is the worst.
In one corner of the Sanctum Sanctorum lies a stasis vault, and this is a time-sealed prison holding Tesseract labyrinths. The interesting thing about these is that each of them, once created, holds a demon.
Yeah.
So the Grey Knights, while good at fighting and banishing demons, is also trying to find a long-term solution to this, because they know you kill a demon, it just goes
only a
back to
matter
the
of
warp.
time,
Yeah, it's
before
going
it
to come
comes
back. But within these Tesseract labyrinths, they have been able to actually contain and hold demons. So they're like, well, if we contain and hold every demon, right? Like an impossible task,
Yeah.
but still something that they're looking at as
Yeah.
the potential of it. So
Yeah.
it's also said that this thing is constantly like under the threat of demons breaking out of these
Yeah,
labyrinths. So
Good time. Good,
Yeah.
good time to be in that place. Up next, we have the Librarium Demonica, and it is a unique respiratory.
repository. I spelt it wrong.
Okay. Of the knowledge of the warp and chaos foremost in the entire galaxy. Like, it's the biggest library of
What do you think?
chaos
Black
knowledge.
Library or this?
The Black Library.
Yeah.
Because the Black Library has all types of knowledge, not just chaos.
But what one do you think has more on chaos?
Oh, I'd say this one.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because the Black Library is like an Eldar thing.
But the Eldar known about it for way longer than humanity has.
But I don't think they're as willing to, like, deal with it. Like,
Actually, I can see that. Humanity is definitely like, on one hand they hide it, and on the other hand, they do their secret experiments to try and make children
Exactly, but I don't
psychics
think,
by
like-
using LSD on water tanks. Am I right or am I right, guys?
Right.
But yeah, like humans, I would say would have the bigger. knowledge of
Interesting.
it.
I like that.
That's just my thought. I don't know. Could be.
Next, we have the Hall of Champions, and this is like the main foyer,
Foyer.
one would say.
Thank you. Hey, excuse me. No.
Oh, we're going with foyer.
Foyer.
Okay.
This serves as a congregation center. This is where they hold their feasts, their celebrations, rituals, and or special events. There's a really cool fact about this that we will share at the end of the podcast.
The Warp Nexus, an artifact construct located on Titan, and is at the heart of the Fortress Monastery of the Grey Knights chapter. This star-shaped chamber was constructed by Malkador's Sigillite and is one of the few remaining relics of his work. Its first usage was during the initial creation of the Grey Knights, when the entire moon of Titan was launched into the safe refuge within the warp. Following that, the Mandalas,
Mandalas and pentagrammic
Pentagrammic. You want to read it, Jordan? Please.
sigils.
Yes, go
Maintain
on.
both the chapter monastery as well as Titan itself from the turbulent currents of the Immaterium. Is that correct?
Immaterium.
Oh. Did you change the...
No, I'm serious. It's
Oh, I thought it was F.
that.
Oh, okay.
Everyone's got a little bit of dyslexia.
Since its initial usage, the Grey Knights have sought to realign the power of the warp nexus in order for it to make use of the warp as a place of sanctuary should be. Wow. Place of sanctuary should it be ever required. However, no Grey Knight alive holds a sorcery capable of accomplishing such a feat, and thus the moon exists both in real space as well as warp space at the same time. As a result, the chamber is containing the warp nexus holds cloisters of 200 chapter serfs that echo with canticle, intonation, prayer, and chants that fuel this arcane device.
So if I'm listening to this correctly,
Yeah.
this is like the focus of power that Malkador used to send the moon into the warp.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they want to reuse it
Yeah.
to use, like, to be able to hide in the warp again.
Yeah.
First of all, awesome. Second
Because
of
they're
all,
secret.
badass.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But
But the
the
other
oth-
thing, it exists in both real space and in the Immaterium. At the same
Hello,
time.
Cadia.
And maybe this is why like they have like so many demonic incursions almost in their chapter. Not that they actually do, but like that's why there's so many like Grey Knights that are constantly like doing these prayers and rituals. Like
Yeah, to keep them safe.
Yeah.
So Charlie doesn't die.
exactly. So Charlie doesn't die.
They also have the Chamber of Heroes. This is where the remains of crippled battle brothers are brought, and then they are reawoken as Grey Knight dreadnoughts.
That's where I would hang out.
Right.
No,
Did you hear how many humans it takes to make one single Grey Knight?
I just cut the keyword cripple. And I jumped in on that.
Yeah. Brant's body could use a dreadnought.
He's a little broken.
Yeah.
It's all right, though.
The crypts, and this is where the Grey Knights are buried.
Interesting fact about Grey Knight burial. When you are buried, it is not in your battle armor because that is way too precious a resource to waste. So they bury you in ceremonial armor, and then they give you a sword to grasp in your death. And upon the sword, they inscribe every deed you've ever done.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Pretty wild.
Sweet.
So there's two other moons that are controlled by the Ordo Malleus, Mimus, prison and execution ground, and Enchiladas. We'll go with that. Home of the
Pretty
leaders of
much.
the Ordo.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is where I was saying they actually control things other than Titan within the system.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of their fortress monastery. Like they got a bunch of cool spots
Oh
in
yeah,
there. Like
and they have like a lot of like weaponry if you were to go.
oh
read
yeah,
it.
like of course they have like even like their armory, obviously.
Yeah.
And, like hangar bays.
Exactly, yeah. But now we're going to talk about their actual gear that they use.
So there's two things that really define Grey Knights. We have a bunch more, but the two big things are their Aegis armor and their Force Nemesis weapons.
Yes.
So let's talk about their Aegis armor.
I'll read it. The suits of power and Terminator armor worn by the Grey Knights are incredibly well-crafted lattice of psychoconductive filaments and amulets. These are anointed and inscribed with prayers and wards, ritually consecrated and psychically charged. Working in tandem with the Grey Knight's formidable psychic powers, the Aegis armor protects the wearers from the effects of the Immaterium and the demon it spawns. The armor's ritual blessings and psychic resonance also serves to confound the perception of any enemies, resulting in an effect called shrouding. The psychically charged nature of the armor allows its mere presence to induce intense terror and pain in any nearby demons and their warp spawn, also loosening their grip on the material realm.
So basically their armor is a weapon.
That, like, in the same way that a purifier's spirit is damaging to the demon, and now there's also an added thing of their armor,
Yeah.
which is causing them intense terror and pain. And
Yeah, so that's the one big thing. And if you look at the models, like it really does have a unique flair to it as opposed to other power armored models. Like you can see that there's like all these runes engraved on it, and
especially in like the newer models, you get it a lot clearer.
yeah, you can even read what the runes say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That armor, did it mention that each armor probably has a psychic hood built into it as well?
No, they did not.
Psychic hood basically is just like a null blocker. Helps you from being attacked by demons, essentially.
It's gonna like anchor you into reality, so
Yeah.
it it not only increases your ability to
Yeah.
use psychic powers, but it also adds an extra protection.
Yeah, exactly. And all Grey Knights will have that.
The best offense is a good defense.
Oh, have I ever heard that one before?
All right, Force Nemesis weapons, and these are the other big things. And the other, it even says in here, the characteristic weapon of the Grey Knights is the Nemesis Force weapon. It can take on the form of a halberd, sword, mace, axe, or even the rarer hammer. It is a powerful force. Fuck my phone.
Just read mine. Just
okay.
read on mine.
Thank you. My phone
I can read
pop-ups
it
come
too
up.
if you want.
Yeah, go for it, Jordan.
Where,
It's like low battery.
did you
Then I
leave
scroll
off?
and then like it all.
You guys need to understand, it's not that Mark cannot read. It's he's reading on an iPhone that
a
is only
broke
showing
screen.
it's completely shattered,
And you
it
can
only
only
shows
read-
half on the screen.
You can only
so,
read 3 words at a time. Then you have to jump down to the next line.
Yes, he's not
But also
illiterate.
I can't read.
Well,
but-
yeah, but that's just part of life.
All right, go for it, Jordan.
I'm just gonna start.
Someone donate a phone to Mark.
Force Nemesis
Don't
weapons.
say that. People might do it.
Good.
The characteristic weapon of the Grey Knights is the Nemesis Force weapon. It can take the form of a halberd, sword, mace, axe, or the rarer hammer. It is a powerful force weapon housing a psi matrix attuned to the unique psyche of its owner. In original versions, the haft incorporated a bolter weapon similar to the Adeptus Custodes Guardian Spear. On newer models of the Grey Knights, the bolter is a wrist-mounted storm bolter incorporated into the armor itself. Like all force weapons, the power of the weapon itself directly corresponds to the psychic talent of the wielder. As the Grey Knights are some of the greatest psychers of the Imperium, a Nemesis weapon is a truly devastating weapon.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
there's like a bond that's created by the wielder and the weapon itself. So the more powerful of a psyker you are, the more powerful your Nemesis Force weapon is going to be, which is very different from regular power swords. Please
Yeah.
understand that they are not even remotely similar.
Yeah. No, they're not.
Yeah.
I would imagine too. It says that like each one is made individually for the Grey Knight.
Yeah. Maybe
I'd
they make
imagine
their
that-
own.
Oh, maybe, but I'd imagine they're buried with these weapons. You were talking about how like their feats were carved onto the weapon.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it was a sword specifically, but I'd
Yes.
imagine whatever weapon they were using, that's what they're buried with.
You know what? That sounds very
Like,
cool.
because
and
no
I'm
one
okay
else
with
can
it.
use it. Like,
Right, because it is psychically attuned to them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and that's what they're talking about. There's the Matrix and everything. So, like, you get the real Matrix. So you can actually go into it.
Ah,
Yeah.
perfect.
But it just adds another level of flavor to these guys.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
anyways,
Silencers.
moving on.
They function by channeling the psychic might of the user, where it is not only focused but amplified. After which, focusing crystals channel the resultant energy into a refined azure
Yep.
energy pulse capable of destabilizing the physical form of a demon.
So this is another Grey Knight specific weapon.
Yeah. And it shoots psychic powers essentially.
The interesting thing is that it uses an actual physical thing, a crystal,
Yeah.
to amplify and increase the power.
Well,
of
you
this
see,
thing.
Oh, so when Star Wars uses crystals, it's not cool and super lame. But when Grey Knights use it, all of a sudden, whoop-de-woo.
Well, they're really into Reiki, these guys. So
but yeah, like even their force weapons, they have their crystals.
no, for sure, because it's
Everything's attuned. And
yeah. There's so many different ways to like focus psychic energies.
Yeah.
Like you could just draw a pentagram and that'll
Yeah.
focus it to some degree. It all depends on what you want to do.
And we even know we know about Blackstone. Like that
Yeah.
has both positive and negative things for the war.
It's not just stone that's
Black
painted
stone.
black, Brant. It's stone that's doing blackface. It's actual just black stone, like something is iron or steel or black stone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man, racist.
Psi cannons. They're bolt weapons firing ammunition impregnated with negative psychic energy.
Negative psychic energy. What
Yeah.
the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Inside each bullet, there's spoken like the opposite name of a demon.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they just very quickly close the bolt, and they're like, "We got it. We got it."
It's like trying to seal a fart.
exactly. Catch smoke in a bird cage.
Yeah.
Old Chinese proverb. Anyways, the interesting thing is that technically, like anyone could use this.
Yeah.
But they just do not give it.
Ordo Malleus Inquisitors use these all the time.
Yeah, And like there is like the Death Watch is known for like using a bunch of different kinds of ammunition, but like they don't even get this.
No.
Right. So technically you could, like it's like one of those tools that's probably just so rare and tough to make that you give it to the best warriors.
Yeah.
And then the very last thing we have, well, maybe not the very last thing, but the last weapon we have is an incinerator. And these are similar to a heavy flamer, but instead of just regular promethium, it's a special mix of consecrated promethium and blessed oils.
I
had to finish it.
Bit of a theme here, hey? If you want it to be better, just throw a little spice on it.
Spice being oil or special
Oregano.
prayers?
Special prayers, a little bit of intuition, and whatever you guys are talking about.
Absolutely. The thing about Grey Knights is that they are so specifically made to fight demons, and that there's no better way to protect yourself from the warp than using the warp. It's a dumb thing, right? Like, or using anti-warp, as is shown in the Psy cannons, right?
So Nemesis Dread Knight is the last thing that's kind of uniquely
Baby carriers.
Grey Knight. Yeah.
Go take a look at the model. It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty cool model, but also it's kind of dumb.
It's cool and dumb at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're so close to making it awesome. But basically, it's like a giant exoskeleton. Think like Alien versus Predator, the very first one. She hops in that like the lifter or the loader.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like that, just badass.
But created for war
exactly
and
Like,
fighting demons.
It's just a giant exoskeleton that turns a regular Space Marine into a 20-foot tall killing machine.
It's like you're in a mecha. You're in a Gundam,
Yeah, but
it looks a little different.
But where Gundam and stuff, you're piloting it. Like the Nemesis Dreadnought is like you are literally like attached to it, and like when you move your arm,
Yes.
it moves its
Yes,
arm.
yes.
Like when you step, it's.
I don't
stepping.
think you've seen enough Gundam shows.
Aren't they mostly controls?
Depends.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I don't know anything about anime.
So yeah, that's all them.
That's all their war gear.
But they also have like a variety of psychic powers that they
Yes.
specifically call on.
Absolutely.
The ones that I found were very noticeably Grey Knight. The first one would be Hammerhand, and essentially like
What do, Mark?
Grey Knights, they will function together in a squad as psychers. Like they will, like one will lead the squad in like what the psychic.
Oh,
power
you better
that they're
believe they
doing.
don't need to use comms. Right? They're all like attuned and
Yeah.
psychic to each other.
Yeah, but like they'll channel their power into like specific powers. So it's not like one guy's casting lightning and the other one's like force pushing somebody.
Sure.
For Brant.
Yeah, that was for you.
Yeah, so the common one that they do is like they'll all cast Hammerhand on themselves, and it basically just increases like your physical strength, like they warp infused muscles.
Excellent.
Or they'll do Purifying Flame, where like all the psychics will like channel into like the Justicar, and then he'll shoot out like a psychic flame.
That's so sweet. It's like a focusing, like he's the focus and everything is going through him.
Yeah. Or all of them might individually do a flame, but it will just be weaker.
Yeah.
But also they do Rites of Banishment, which is it's just they have some type of psychic ritual, psychic warp.
Well, you think
ritual
about it,
ritual.
like you could just probably maybe even turn up the psychic thing that's pouring out of your Aegis armor.
Yeah.
And that just amps up your ability to banish demons.
Yeah, exactly. And another one would be Sanctuary, which is basically just like little warp force fields, essentially, that
So
block attacks.
it blocks attacks or it blocks warps stuff?
Everything.
Oh, okay.
It's like a warp void shield, essentially.
Yeah, okay. It's just a
Like-
force field created with warp energy.
Essentially, yeah.
There's
They
obviously
have
more.
other ones, like
yeah.
they have like Gates of Infinity, and
Yes.
but they're more common amongst other Space Marine chapters.
And that kind of sums up, where the Grey Knights came from, how they function as like a chapter,
What makes them unique?
Yeah,
and
what makes them
recruitment
unique.
and training.
where they live. It's like that should be like your understanding of the Grey Knights.
Yeah, like-
really.
Yeah, obviously there's always more.
Yes,
you can go
obviously.
so deep into
So-
like they have like pages of like actual rituals and stuff that you can read. And-
Yeah, like when I was looking through like the codex, I was reading through it, and
Yeah.
there's an entire page of like badass quotes they do. Like it's like a ritual they say, and it's like someone answers. It is very Catholic. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's so cool, and like you want to include that to share that level with people. But I don't know. There's a couple deeds that we have written down that we
Yeah.
want you guys to know about, because we want to share just how awesome
Yeah,
they are. Okay, so the first one, super easy. No Grey Knight has ever fallen to chaos.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, and no Grey Knight ever will.
No, they are too badass.
Yeah.
And that's like the crazy thing is because they are in the most difficult battles, the most demonic heavy presence ones. That's them fighting.
But yeah, it all comes down to probably not only are they using the Gene Seal of the Emperor, which would probably help, but also they've gone through all these trials even leading up to it.
Exactly. And they're always mentally preparing themselves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The next one, I'm going to read this out loud. This is one of my favorite things about Grey Knights. Most warp-spawned prizes are instead locked away inside the deepest vaults. The one notable exception is the charred skull of Iremnath, the demon Raja of Nalu, whose repeated assaults on the Ib world maze led the Grey Knights into one of their longest and costliest campaigns. Now, Iremnath's cursed spirit is doomed to dwell above the Grand Master's high table in a prison of his own skull, caged by the ceaseless chanting of 70 acolytes who exist only to see that the hexagrammic wards that cage him never fail. For the Grey Knights, the skull of Iremnath represents a shard of hope that the final victory against the demons is not impossible. For Iremnath, it is the most bitter of punishments. Unable to escape, he must watch the Grey Knights celebrate their every triumph, raging silently and impotently against his downfall.
So wild.
Like, could you have something more metal? Like, in like your fortress monastery, in the heart of where you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, yeah, this guy's super dangerous. Fuck it. He's our wall trophy.
Yeah.
And it takes a score of acolytes, 70 acolytes, 60 acolytes, all times to be making sure that this guy doesn't leave. Fuck it. We'll do it.
Worth it.
Yeah. And it's just.
No, it's one of their coolest stories for sure.
Yeah.
Candles.
I love it. I love the badassery of these guys. Anyways, Mark, the next one.
Caldor Drago carved his predecessor's name on the heart of the Primarch Mortarion.
The Demon Primarch.
Yeah. Caldor Drago is known for having a bunch of wild feats, but I think this one by far is his most wild of feats.
And he wasn't even the Supreme Grand Master at that point.
Nope, he was not.
He was close to be, almost, but this is the final thing that sealed the deal.
Yeah. And this is notable because a lot of his other feats were done in the warp, and that just is a completely different game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's traveled through the 7 layers of Slanesh and, I don't know, planted a flower in the Garden of Nurgle. And so
he's done
all that, but it's all in the warp. It's a completely different experience, but he did this in real space.
Yeah, he beat like a demon Primarch.
Yeah.
And took out his heart and carved his master's name on it, his predecessor's name.
Yeah.
And then
because Mortarion killed his predecessor, so
he's getting some revenge. Yeah, he's like, I know I can't kill you, Mortarion, because you're gonna go back to the warp.
Yeah.
But instead of that, I'll do something you can't forget. Yeah. That's so awesome. Like rips open his chest, like reaches in the heart, like carves his name. Like
And a lot of people, like even me when I first read this, I'm like, wow, that's dumb. How did he do all that? But when you look through all of like their war gear and they know the true name backwards and forwards and all these different feats, it's not so much a contest of strength. It's more a contest of like psychic might.
Yeah, and preparedness.
Yeah, exactly. And like all the incense you believe are burning in the background, and that's weakening Mortarion.
The people that are like whispering prayers in the background and everything.
Yeah, like all of this kind of leads up to him being able to do this. So it's not like he literally like, got into a sword fight, disarmed Mortarion, kicked him over.
Right.
It's like all this psychic ritual involved in it.
Exactly. Another one is they banished Angron back to the warp during the first war for Armageddon.
Yeah.
Another badass feat. Who else can say they banished a demon Primarch?
Yeah, and I think they lost 300 Grey Knights in it, but they still
worth
won.
it.
Yeah,
worth it.
Like Angron and his world eaters raised like thousands of planets before this.
Yeah, worth 300 Grey Knights. Yeah. They purged the Relicators chapter.
Yeah, so you often see like who would win, Grey Knights or the Ultramarines? Grey Knights win against every chapter. Every time. Like, there's no comparison. In a 1-on-1 battle, in a 10-on-10 battle,
in a 10-on-1 battle,
the Grey Knights are coming out on top every time.
It's not even comparable.
And this just shows, like, they purged the Relicators chapter, and it's not like, it doesn't say, and they took heavy losses. No. They just fucking purged it. Like, they went in there, they wiped out a chapter, No big deal.
It even says on here that a couple got away with the help of Leman Russ. It took a Primarch to like help hide some people for the Grey Knights not to find them. And I don't even.
No, that's a different chapter. But
What one am I thinking
that's
of?
the Wolf Brothers. Guarantee it.
All right.
But
Similar story.
similar story.
All right. Cool.
But yeah,
I'm willing to admit defeat.
It just shows that like sometimes you just gotta accept that the Grey Knights are the best of the best of the best.
I don't even understand. Like the only reason they're not like the poster boys is because they're secret. Nobody knows about them.
Yeah,
That's the whole
Nobody
purpose.
Should know about them.
The Terminus Decree. Oh my gosh. Okay. In the Fortress Monastery on Titan, there is a little box. And in that box, I'll put another box. No.
Ooh.
In that box is the Terminus Decree. And only the Supreme Grandmaster has the key to opening this thing. And it said, legend has it told, that that this will be opened at the most dire moment in the galaxy's history. And that in it has knowledge that could either save humanity completely and restore them to their rightful place, or doom them for all eternity.
Yeah.
So the speculation is that it has the way to bring the Emperor back.
Yep.
That's like...
Also, the speculation it has a way to kill the Emperor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, because there's those two schools of thought of, will the Emperor ascend to godhood and become a chaos god if he goes free? Or is it better to raise him from the dead to allow him to be a man again? Well, as man as he could be. So that would be like what is in there.
Who knows?
It will never be opened.
No.
But it's just such a cool flavor thing to have in there. Like, this box will change the tide of humanity forever.
Yeah.
So what could it possibly be in?
And when will they open it?
They never will.
Yeah.
Mortarion could be at the door and they
Yeah.
would still never open
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And the final just kind of cool thing is Castellian Crow. He's the leader of the Purifiers, so he's got a super clean soul.
The most pure soul.
Yeah. And he carries around the Blade of Antwire, and it's a demon weapon that cannot be destroyed. But the reason why he carries it around is because you can't break it.
Yeah.
You can't just leave it lying around because it is constantly whispering to people. So he literally carries it around with him at all times while it's whispering to him. But not only that, he also uses it in combat. But where most demon weapons, like, it has a demon in it, so it can call upon psychic power, so it increases your strength, and like it can now cut through anything. He doesn't use it. He contains
It's
the
just
energy.
a regular sword.
Yeah, he contains the energy of the sword, of this crazy demon weapon, and he just uses a regular sword.
Because in anyone else's hands, they
Yeah.
would fall to its temptations immediately.
Exactly.
So, but he is just so
he
pure.
he just carries it around and
It's just so wild that,
Yeah.
like, even on tabletop, it's just a regular sword.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But it's
pretty
just,
cool.
he's just such a cool model.
Yeah, and
Like,
it
the
just-
representation of what they should be.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Why don't they throw it in the warp?
because then
Then the demon would be free. And their goal is to contain demons.
Why wouldn't they throw it into the sun? Because it can't be destroyed.
And magic.
Mad.
Okay, that kind of follows everything we wanted to share about Grey Knights with you guys.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of listener questions now. And it was actually awesome. We have a lot of these this time. It was really cool.
Yeah, they're getting more and more.
Yeah, if you don't know, we do this on our Facebook page where we ask people to ask us questions about the topic we want to
Yeah,
talk
and we'll
about.
usually post like a day or two before we record.
Yeah, give you some time to think of something and share. So we do a lot of our interaction with people on Facebook. So if you haven't already, go like our page. Okay, let's start this right away. So Elias asks, or Elias, I don't know how to say her name. What do Grey Knights use to buff their armor?
I got a good one.
Now, what is it?
So, Space Marine armor, it's left clean and pure and
Yes.
silver, right? It's the adamantium. So they dip all their armor into simply clean, and all the paint flecks off,
Right.
and then it's nice and clean.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then you just give it a quick purity seal.
Purity seal spray, and you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're done. What he is referring to, though, is the fact that Grey Knights, they knew they were going against a really terrible battle of demons, so they got a bunch of, was it Sisters of Battle?
Yeah.
So they found a bunch of Sisters of Battle who are very fanatically loyal to the Emperor, and they killed them, even though they're on the same side. They killed
Yep.
the Sisters of Battle, and they used their blood as a consecration for their armor.
Makes sense.
Well, makes complete sense when you think
know,
about it.
You just go kill some loyalists and wipe their blood on your armor, and you're the good guy.
Now we are clean, brother. Right? Like, that's what he's referring to.
There's some dumb stories.
Of course, but even that, there's always going to be a rationalization beyond it.
There's no rationalization for that. Not a single Grey Knight has fallen to chaos ever, regardless of this blood thing.
Blood magic.
There was no need for it.
No, there was not. Elliot asks, how often would a full army of Grey Knights be sent out versus just a small strike force? Never.
Like define full army.
Yeah, like the full chapter.
Never.
There's no
Not
way.
once.
It's way
Like,
too risky, and there's no need for it.
Even during the Battle of Armageddon against Angron, there was only like 300 guys there, and they had to like go to a bunch of chapters and ask for like Terminator armor, and then like they gave 300 people Terminator armor, and then they banished them, and that's like one of the biggest conflicts you can go through.
Yeah, for Grey Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're way too valuable, and there's way too many threats in the galaxy for them to ever be in the same place.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah. But that would be absolutely devastating if they ever...
A full chapter of anything would be wild.
Come on.
But
Agree with me.
No, absolutely. So a full chapter of Grey Knights would be even wild. But yeah, like even a full chapter of normal Marines, rarely are they ever a full chapter. So for the full Grey Knight chapter, I don't think
even more rare.
Yeah.
So never happened that I've seen, and I doubt will ever happen.
Yeah.
Elliot also asks, how tied together are the Grey Knights and the Ordo Malleus? Do the Grey Knights go where they want and take requests from the Inquisition, or if the Inquisition says jump, they go right away? So I think we kind of answered that when we were talking about the Brotherhood 7.
Yeah, it was the 7th.
And how they are the ones in Inquisition. And the Inquisition definitely requests these guys.
Yeah,
they do not
demand.
order at all. Because the Grey Knights probably know way more than the Inquisitors do.
Oh, yeah.
Way more.
Yeah.
So, like, if the Inquisitor says go to this, the Grey Knights are like, no, there's a way different threat over here.
Yeah, like,
or if I do this...
So we've already divined it over this way.
Exactly. Or if I do this, it'll remove that threat completely. So, it's definitely ask, and it's definitely not always put through. The Grey Knights definitely exist outside of that.
Yeah. But, so the question then to me becomes, how often would they turn down the Inquisition?
I bet you $5 the Grey Knights already know the Inquisition is going to ask.
$5 we're putting down on this.
Yeah, $5. I'm willing to say that the Grey Knights already know what's about to be asked, and they've already determined its value or not.
Yeah.
Like they're way too looking forward in the future.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next.
Matthew, what heresy-era characters are hiding in the ranks of the Grey Knights? Or are there interesting characters of note who have been inducted? Indicted? Inducted. Not indicted. That's different. Thanks for the time and the podcast. First of all, Matt, thanks. Great question. Thank you so much for that question. Heresy? None.
Currently in 40K, none. But like we were talking about, those 8 Space Marine were heresy era characters.
But all of them are dead. I want to say that right now. They are.
I would imagine, yes.
I was reading the Codex, and it does say there's a special place for all 8 founders of the...
Yeah, there's no way none of them are alive. There's no way.
No, it's been 10,000 years.
Yeah. So, but those were the only 8 that would ever have been tied to the Grey Knights. We got to keep remembering, this is a secret organization that they mind wipe even Astartes that they come into contact with.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
And interesting characters of note who have been inducted to Grey Knights, 0.
Yeah.
To the Inquisition, like the Ordo Malleus, I don't know. I'm assuming a couple. Like I would assume Eisenhorn at this point is Ordo Malleus, but again,
I don't know.
He might not. He might still be Ordo Xenos.
Yeah,
who knows?
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a great question because,
we didn't answer it.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I think
heresy is definitely nothing, and interesting characters. You'd have to take a look at actual Inquisitors because nothing would be in the chapter.
Yeah, exactly.
Jared asks, are the Exorcists a successor chapter? And if so, are there any failed chapters that they tried the same thing with?
Yeah, so the Exorcists are actually used like Grey Knight Gene Seed, and they're basically Grey Knight's light. And it's kind of weird because like technically they're using the Emperor's Gene Seed, but they're basically a Space Marine chapter that during recruitment they possess the aspirant with a demon, and then that aspirant has to banish his own demon from inside of him, and then he is inducted into the chapter. And then at that point, they're said to never be able to be possessed again, because it's like they've fought off the demon. But yeah,
it's like a condom. You can only use it once.
you can flip it inside out. Wait, nope, don't do that. But yeah, they are a successor chapter, and they actually do use the Emperor's Gene Seed. Are there other ones out there? No, I don't believe there is.
I don't like this.
I don't like the Emperor's Gene Seed, personally.
It's not that I don't have that. I do have problems with anyone else besides the Grey Knights using it. Because the Grey Knights, they don't flaunt it. Right? And I don't think these guys do either.
Flaunt it if you got it.
No,
man.
but that's the thing about it, is that it's not like they're fighting on the Emperor's... Like, they're not like Custodes, where, like, we are the best of the best of the best. The Grey Knights, I feel, are, like, a much more humble organization.
Oh, yeah, well, purity leads to fall.
Right, exactly.
They're
like
secret
pride.
organization.
Exactly.
No one knows about them.
That's what I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been way worse if the Emperor created his own chapter and then put them right next to the Ultramarines. That would be much, much worse.
Yeah.
But, like, the Ultramarines can't compare themselves to the Grey Knights because they don't know they exist.
Yeah. And I think part of the problem with this chapter, too, is it was always speculated for the longest time where the Grey Knight Gene Seed came from. So then to say that you have a successor chapter using the Grey Knight's Gene Seed, it's like, oh, yeah, sure. Like,
because you never knew it was the Emperor's.
Yeah, but as soon as it becomes the Emperor's, it's like, now these, like, people always say that the Ultramarines have the most pure gene seed. Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
These exorcists would, without a doubt. It's the Emperor's gene seed.
Yeah.
Like,
there would be zero flaw, and it would have the lowest rate of corruption that ever existed.
Exactly. So as soon as you introduce that, it's one of those things that breaks other areas of the lore.
I would prefer to see this gone. Personally, I do not think it adds. I do not think it adds anything to the story. And I think if you remove it, it only cements the Grey Knights further as the most secret.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the chapter itself is cool. Like, I love that the idea of
Make it a different gene seed.
Exactly. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that they take on a demon and they have to banish it themselves at the age of 13, mind
That's
you.
awesome.
Yeah. But, so that's
total
kind of the chapter. I don't think there's any other chapter out there, nor should there be.
No.
In my personal opinion.
Raymond asks, how big is a demon hammer in cubits? 42.
Are we talking cubit, like the little blue thing that...
I have no idea what the hell a cubit is.
I think a cubit is like a square meter.
42. My answer rests.
42 square.
Wait, cubit isn't a volume? Cubit's got to be a volume. It's a cubit. Like a cube, like cubed.
Yeah.
So where does Bitcoin fit into this?
So like a cubed meter is a cubit? What does Google say?
Google, a cubit is an ancient unit of length that had several definitions according to each of the various different cultures that use the unit.
It's a trap!
Right, it is a trap. Anywhere between 4 and 50.
These definitions range between 444 and 529 millimeters.
Oh, that's the normal method that I use to measure things. Thank you. Millimeters. That's just a penis joke, guys.
So this guy's just using cubit.
Just a little cock joke for you. Just a little.
Yeah. So, first of all, Raymond, what on earth are you measuring that you're measuring in cubits?
Hammers.
Hammers.
Clearly.
Got my collection of hammers back here, all measured in size of cubits. Cubits. No idea, Raymond. Next. Derek asks, Caldor Drago. Someone should stress how certain Grey Knights carve their names into the hearts of demons. Also, what goes into making their special psi equipment and force weapons? How do they get made different from regular old power weapons? First of all, excellent. Caldor Drago is obviously a fan favorite. Second of all, it's not his name, it's his predecessor's name. And thirdly, I don't know. I think we talked about it.
Yeah. It's just psychically attuned usually.
It's to the personal.
Energy.
Yeah. It's not that like they don't mass produce these things. Like you have to be involved in it.
Yeah.
Just like a lightsaber. That one's for you, Brent.
He's still with us.
What?
Barely. Oh, he's awake now.
Oh,
How was your Slurpee?
that was all right. It's flat. We discussed this at the beginning.
Young Slurpee.
Slurpee.
Camden asks, do you think Games Workshop will make Primaris Grey Knights? What do you think, Brant?
Repeat the question real quick.
Do you think Games Workshop will make Primaris Grey Knights?
And
Oh.
the name so he can answer properly.
Yeah.
Camden.
Camden.
Yeah.
No, of course it will, man. If they can make
No,
something
of
to
course it
make,
will.
no, don't. I say no. Don't even ask stupid questions. Of course they will. It's something to make more money on, man. Matt Ward and his money-hungry hippies that he's got going, they're gonna make that figurine.
That's funny.
No, I sincerely hope from the bottom of my heart that they do not make Primaris Space Marines.
But you could say that about anything.
Of course, I hope.
I sincerely hope they don't make Ultramarine Primaris Marine. Oh shit. You know?
Well, it's already a thing.
Yeah.
I hope they don't.
No.
I think it will ruin part of what they are.
So here's my thought. I don't think they will in the next 10 years, 20 years, but as Brant says, it's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen. They're money-hungry hippies, as they say. But
As they say.
But like, so we've had Blood Angels come out, Space Marines,
Space
Wolves, Dark Angels, and they've all had...
Dark Angels?
Yeah, oh yeah. Came out a while ago.
With all their hoods and robes?
Yeah.
Oh. Why did... Last time I said I wanted to do a Dark Angel Primaris armor, you said there weren't enough models.
Well, there's only one that has it. Like,
Oh, I see.
But they have tokens and stuff in the shoulder pads or whatever.
Gotcha.
But
That's dumb.
it's not the robes.
Yeah.
But like, so they've released these upgrade kits for all the other ranges when they came out, but they didn't when the Grey Knight Codex came out. And one of the main reasons I think they don't do it yet, or they haven't done it yet, is just the model line is going to have to be a completely different model line. Where Blood
'cause-
Angel, Space Wolves, all that, it's just a different shoulder pad. Maybe you toss
Exactly.
on a wolf tail.
Yeah.
But if you do Grey Knight Primaris, you have to have the Aegeus armor. You have to have the Force Nemesis weapons. Like
You got to have the special interceptor backpacks.
Yeah,
You got to
it's-
have like the crazy paladin armor.
yeah,
Okay.
Like it's a completely new. It would have to be a completely new model range, and that's why we haven't seen it yet. And that's why I don't think we will see it for a number of years.
How do you think that works? Do you think they steal it from Call or...
Oh, they'd probably just ask for it. Like,
Yeah, they would be like, "We are the Grey Knights, the 666th
Ho?
founding chapter." Exactly, no one would know who they are, right? But they would have their administration
Yeah.
from like when they were founded.
yeah,
Oh, that makes me sad. But as long as the model range is totally badass, like Primaris look amazing.
oh yeah, and it will be. But
Yeah.
and I think that's just it because like
It's just time.
it would be silly if they did Primaris Grey Knights that are wielding the bolt guns, and all it is they have a Grey Knight shoulder
Yep,
pad.
that would be dumb.
That would be retarded.
Yeah.
But eventually, yeah, like that's the way the line's going.
Of
is
course.
everything's getting upscaled. So
Yeesh.
don't count on happening in 10 years. You know.
No, of course, yeah.
But-
And they Games Workshop has always said like they are 2 years behind.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
So whatever they're releasing in the next month, they've been working on for 2 years.
yeah.
So.
But
Sean asks, how do you hide an entire chapter of Space Marines, all of whom are Psychers, on the largest moon in the holiest system of the Imperium? Short answer, magic.
long answer, the Nexius,
Yeah, the Star Nexus.
Star Nexus.
Yeah, that's how they're constantly making sure they're hidden. Also, they have friends in the highest of highest places,
Yeah.
being the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Like, if the Inquisition says this area is a dead zone and you don't go into it, you better fucking not go into it.
Yeah. Also, like space. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a big place.
Is huge.
There's a lot of room up there. So
One would even say that 99.9% of space is unoccupied space.
I would say even more than that.
I'm assuming it's more. I don't know what the numbers are. I just
Yeah.
80% of all statistics are bullshit.
Madness.
It's actually not that hard once you think about it, Sean.
Once you're the most powerful human psyker in existence. it's not that
Yeah,
hard to
exactly. If you had never heard about the Star Nexus, though, maybe go take a read about what it is.
do. Yeah, there's always more information to be read.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a pretty cool thing. Anything created by Malkador
Yeah.
is just rule of cool. And then our very last question we have is from Logan. Can anything actually kill Drago, or is his, parentheses, plot armor too strong?
So we'll give the serious answer first. I think we kind of talked about it. Like,
Oh.
I think now at this point in Drago's life, he's like a warp creature almost. Like, not really, but he kind of
Like, he's not a demon.
No, he's not a demon, but he's still tied to the warp. Where I think that if he was killed, he would just go back to the warp. Like, that's part of his curse. And then I think he'll just come back out again. Like, his curse was to
I've
wander
read
around
his-
for like all time or whatever. And
Yeah.
all time means all time. Right.
You know what? That's an interesting wording on the curse. Like, I remember reading the actual thing that the guy cursed him with. It was like MCAR or something
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
And it was a long time ago that I read it. And at first I was just like, whoa, like, he just can't leave the warp. But I never assumed his immortality because of that. But it's possible that, like, an unintended consequence of this demon's wording totally granted Caldor Drago
Like demonhood almost.
exactly,
essentially.
yeah, without
'cause-
being any tainted on it. Well, I mean, because he can't be tainted because he's too good.
Yeah, and you can have warp energy and not be tainted.
It's just that's just a risk thing. The longer you
But-
use it, the higher chance.
Yeah, so that's a serious answer. Like, I don't think he can be killed. If
No.
he is killed, I think he goes back to the warp and then comes back out.
Yeah, and it, like, in the warp, it's just too easy to slip away from something or leave or like
Yeah.
like maybe if Korn did it, maybe if a demon, like a chaos god, you never know.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a powerful being to overturn another powerful being's curse, right? So,
Yeah. And as for the plot armor, obviously the plot armor is too thick.
way too thick.
Like, one of my problems with 40K,
You better watch what you're about to say here,
it's valid.
young man.
One of my problems with 40K is plot armor, heroes, and timelines.
Dante,
What's wrong with him?
fuck that guy.
He's a cool guy. What's wrong with Dante?
He's way too much bullshit. Just kill him.
What the fuck?
I just want
He's one of the ones that I don't mind.
I just want Christian to hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so we've jumped 200 years into the future with this newest 8th edition thing. You know what that means? Every Imperial Guardsman is dead.
Like 6 times over.
6 times over. Sorry. Colonel Ironhand Straken, you're dead. You are
Yarick?
no longer in... You're dead.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that they rationalize that now they're somehow still around in the galaxy.
Wait, Yarick is actually still alive?
Yeah.
Oh no, I assumed he was actually gone. Why? How is he alive?
Well, I don't know if he actually is, but he's still a tabletop model, and if you're playing in the current setting, that would imply that
He's
still around.
Right, yeah.
And yes, of course,
Malkador was 1300 years old before
he
he
was
died.
also a powerful psyker.
the most powerful psyker.
There are life enhancing surgeries and stuff that you can take, but it just, for every hero to still be alive, like, what are the chances that Cato Securius of the Ultramarines is still alive after 200 years of fighting in the hardest war since the Horus Heresy? Not likely.
No, not likely at all.
Like, they advance the plot, the timeline, but they're too afraid to actually kill off some of these major characters that have models and rules. And I get why, because it would suck to have to, if I had a beautiful painted Cato Securius and now I can no longer use him. I get it. It just also kind of sucks for the story element. What are you searching there?
I'm trying to see if Yarick is still alive.
Guarantee it, he is.
Yeah, it doesn't say. I mean, I'm only looking on the Wikipedia, just a really quick search, but it doesn't say anything about the Cicatrix Maledictum and his involvement in it. So
Yeah.
he's probably alive. It's just gonna
Yeah,
be.
and like all these named characters are still alive, and it's just like,
Ugh.
yeah, it leaves it leaves a foul taste in the mouth. I know why they do it. I
Makes
get it.
complete sense.
Yeah, you can't
from
make a
like
whole new hero model range. I get
Yeah.
it.
But from a story standpoint, it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's one of those like necessary things for them for their story. Like they had to for the story, but
Yeah.
like, and the story the story is for the game.
Exactly.
And I get that, right?
Absolutely.
So there's always going to be those really dumb things in the story that don't make sense for the story, but
Yeah.
work because of the game.
Yeah. But
And this is one of them.
whatever. It's
Doesn't make the game bad.
still no, absolutely. Or it makes the lore bad. But
make
it's
the
fun.
game bad.
Doesn't make the game bad. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on, like, will Caldor Drago ever die? No, he won't.
Yeah. It's too good.
Too
man.
good. Games Workshop isn't going to get rid of that model, so to kill him off is a poor investment choice or whatever.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so I think that's all.
That pretty much wraps up Grey Knights. I think you've been fiddling around with that mic for like 40 minutes
I'm
now.
surprised he hasn't just got up and left.
I know,
personally.
right?
Just want to make sure when I talk, it's perfectly into the mic.
Otherwise, people might miss the important things you have to say.
Right?
That's right.
Such as?
I learned some things tonight.
Was it worth it?
Learning these things.
Yes.
I'm going to try to apply these to my daily life, and we'll see where that gets me. I'll have to report back.
Will you ever be back on the podcast?
Oh, man, I've been dying to come on this thing. You guys just never invite me.
Bullshit.
Trying to jump on that shooting star. We're coming for you, Joe Rogan.
Yes.
I don't.
That's who we're trying to beat in
Yeah.
download numbers.
Yeah. That's our
Joe
goal.
Rogan. You went and saw him, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, he was just in Calgary the other weekend. How was that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's a funny
Like
cat.
A comedian, or comedy.
He did a comedy show. Yeah. It
Nice.
was good times.
You know, I love his podcast. I've struggled. I've listened to a couple of his specials on Netflix.
I would
That's
agree
kinda-
with that same thing. He's not my favorite comedian,
Okay.
but because of all the podcasts I listened to, I thought,
Yeah.
you know,
He was
put
good
some money
live.
in his pocket
He was
from
good.
all the podcasts.
Yeah.
But it was still good. It was
Yeah.
still an enjoyable night. But I would
Yeah.
agree. I like the diversity of the podcast more.
Yeah.
So we need to have Joe Rogan on this podcast.
Oh, he'll come.
That'll
He'll
help
come.
with your numbers.
If we just tell him it's Mark and Eric from Lorehammer.
Whoa, Jordan. It's Mark, Eric, and Jordan
Yeah.
from
but-
Lorehammer.
That's a good time.
That'd be kind of cool. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening to our episode on Grey Knights. Connect with us on email, lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com, Facebook at Lorehammer, Twitter, Lorehammer40K. I don't know, just shout Lorehammer loud enough and Mark will hear you through his fever dreams.
Oh, I will. Since we're wrapping up the episode, you can sign off now, everybody. But if you want to hear me ramble on for a minute about Tau, you can listen. That's fine. Also,
Gross.
no, it's fine. It's fine, Jordan. It's good. It's fun,
Ah.
Jordan.
In alien commies, give it to me.
Fuck. They're not communists. Also, send us your listener lore. We will get around to doing a listener lore episode
I'm
here.
super stoked to do
I know,
that.
I'm super excited.
I
It's
got
just-
no damn time.
Yeah, it's summertime, so we've all kind of been a little rushed or whatever. But yeah, it will happen. Don't worry, guys. So send it in. So Tau. So I'm starting a Tau army. So that's fun.
And you are using...
Spoilers.
Oh,
that's
you
all
don't, you don't
that's all I
want
want to say.
All right. So you've got some pictures on Lorehammer's Facebook page, so you guys should go check those out.
Yeah.
But Mark actually has a very cool story behind this.
Of course,
Something
buddy.
that will obviously be shared
Yeah.
with the group as a whole.
Yeah. Oh.
Brant, you look like you had something you wanted to say.
Oh,
I
no,
was
he's
just leaning in.
vomiting.
Oh.
But,
Brant, can you please put your pants back on?
I'm super excited. So like the army list itself is just gonna be like breachers and hammerheads, and devilfishes supported by hammerheads, and it's just gonna be such a fun army to play. We're playing tomorrow night, and I might actually play a game with them. Cool.
You're going to have it all built?
I'll have enough built.
For how many points?
Enough to beat you, sucker.
Oh, I don't play to win.
He plays
For pleasure.
pleasure.
Yeah, no,
For
exactly.
pleasure. I'll have
That sounds
probably
like a loser
750
talk.
built. But yeah, no,
is.
I'm just really excited, and yeah. So I will be. We will do like a lore episode eventually here. How much should I reveal? We should maybe-
Nothing.
okay,
Nothing.
We'll talk about it. I have some questions.
Here's your little
for you and
tease.
Jordan.
It's awesome.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, it will probably provide a bunch of content. So that's all. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Anyways, we also are
Message
on
him about
Redbubble.
Tau.
Yeah, message him about Tau. Buy
Talk
our
to me
stuff
about
on.
Tau.
Okay, buy our stuff on Redbubble. If you like what you hear and you want to toss $1 or $2 at us,
Or an iPhone for Mark.
just imagine how happy I would
no,
be.
please. That would
Why? Why
just-
can't the people be generous?
because
Have
he's
you ever
gonna
been?
break it in 2 weeks.
No, we'll send a screen protector and
If
a
you
case.
think that's enough for this
and-
man,
Oh shit! I don't care. Send 2 iPhones then. We're not gonna say no, man. The man needs a phone.
Exactly. If you want me to be able to read whoever was donating money,
Yeah.
that's what I need to read. so like on my phone, like it literally shows like 2 words, and you have to like it's fucked. The layout
we
of
should
our
just show a picture.
the layout of our format makes sense on a computer, but when you bring it to a phone, it's wild.
It's bad.
But
Anyways, you can, if you want to support us on Patreon, you want to toss us $1, $2 a month. It's awesome. It just helps cover our subscription fees or any equipment that we want to buy or upgrade or stuff like that. So, other than that,
thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Next episode will be the Ordo Xenos and the Death Watch. So start getting your questions ready and
Oh,
keep
you're
your
not
Yeah,
gonna
all-
want to miss that.
all about witch hunters.
Nope. Demon hunters.
Nope. It's definitely about the threat without, within, beyond. Anyways, see you later, guys.
See you on the flippity flop.
Welcome to Lorehammer, episode 32, Ordo Malleus and the Grey Knights.
Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. My name is Eric.
Hey, I'm Mark, and I'm a little disappointed in the quality of Slurpee that I'm drinking right now.
That's okay. What'd you get?
Just a flat Coke, I guess. I don't know.
Gross. If it ain't lime vanilla, it's not worth drinking. Remember that? That was like a summer 3 years ago. All we drank was lime vanilla.
Oh, I remember.
It was sick. And now every
Those
time,
are the golden years of my life.
Absolutely. Every time I go into a place to get a Slurpee, or if you're listening from another country, you can call it the demon word slush.
Slush puppy, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Slushy.
Yeah.
And I'll butt in. I'm Brant, and we're already getting off topic here. I'm Mark's older brother, and I'm here for the Lorehammer, not the Slurpees.
Okay. Which
But
is
you do have a
absolutely
Slurpee.
false because you got a Slurpee in front of you.
And it's also flat.
Yeah.
Gross.
Same machine, I think.
Well, you went to the same Slurpee place, so one.
Together, yes.
Right, of
Yes.
course. One can only assume. Anyways, so you did introduce yourself, Brant. Hello,
Hi.
and we totally missed Jordan.
Oh, hey, this is Jordan. How's it going, you filthy incels?
Oh,
Speaking to the clients, I guess.
yeah,
That's
no
it.
kidding. There's a type.
There's a type.
We're in it, Mark. It's us.
We should do some serious, Lorehammer or 40K in general demographics and just see what we come up with. Are we going to split it up between incels and fedoras?
And then the rest will just be neckbeards.
Yeah.
Doritos.
Yeah.
Doritos. That's an entire population.
We can make a Venn diagram of who fits in what and what the traits are between all of them. No, that sounds like work. But yes, Brant, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Obviously, long-time listener, first-time joiner, right? You've listened to all the episodes.
Yeah, what are we? Number 32?
Wow.
32, that's the one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Big fan. Big, huge fan.
What would you say was your
Huge.
huge? What would you say was your favorite episode?
Well, it's kind of a similar theme, you know. After that 3-hour mark when they all end, that's usually my favorite part.
Interesting.
Naturally. Well, welcome, I guess. Looking forward to having you share your thoughts on Warhammer. So
Really just shit on all of our
right,
ideas.
for sure.
and-
Because you don't play Warhammer. Neither do you care about the story.
I wouldn't say that I don't care. It's just that I don't have the time to care.
yeah.
Okay. I can work with that.
yeah.
That sounds better than Warhammer is just a pile of shit. So.
But having said that, you've spent a lot of time watching us play throughout the years because we've all lived with you at some point in our lives,
Oh, of
except for
course.
Jordan.
Of
But so you've always kind of been
We're-
lurking in the background.
We've all been under the wing.
Yeah. But
Brant's-
normally, me and you are playing Warhammer and throwing dice, and then Brant's doing something manly like fixing a motorbike from the ground
Right,
up
exactly.
or something like that.
Yeah,
you know?
he's like under a car,
Yeah.
oil, whatever, dirt, and some big comes sound over there, and he's like, "Oh, did you guys do something cool?" Nope, just dice.
Pass me that 3/4-inch socket wrench. Hand him a Warhammer model.
Yeah, is this what you're looking for?
I have a lot of real world experience, which none of it's going to apply to me here today.
Excellent. Let's get started on a couple of things.
You guys want to hear one more thing?
I
though,
do,
about
obviously.
Brant?
Yes.
Everyone has Brant to thank for my introduction into Warhammer.
What?
Yeah, because him and our old pastor or whatever, they went to a Games Workshop and then they were just looking or whatever, and they brought home a brochure, and then I seen it, I fucking grabbed it, I ran to the bathroom, beat one out, and
Yeah. As we are wont to do.
and that's the story. So if Brant didn't go there and didn't pick that up, I wouldn't be the man I am today.
What have you done?
I will deny that claim.
But it's all true.
Sick. Just sick.
You know what? It all starts to make sense. It was the Lord that brought you to Warhammer.
Yes, it was.
It was divine. Let's get right in. Let's talk about our Patreon for a heartbeat and a half. We actually have 2 new subscribers since we last had our episode, Micah and Brian.
Yeah.
It was odd. Micah was our last guest on.
Yeah.
And it was funny. We totally